different places.
Yeah.
But we just had a Bob Gump situation because of this motherfucker in Miami last week.
Oh,
What?
That shit was crazy. I walk up to you. You ain't never looked at me with venom. I was like, I said, come on, man, come with me. And then next thing I know, you at the after party having a ball and shit. I'm like, that's all we needed to do.
That wasn't Miami. That was DC.
That was hell no.
That was DC. It was DC.
But it was based on the Miami
Yeah,
situation where we're
yeah.
getting ready to go to Miami in a couple weeks.
Oh, right.
You know?
I spazzed out at
Yeah.
the party.
Oh, man. But I'm not going to let him.
I felt a little twinge of disrespect.
But here's the thing, though. In this, my two, like me and Friday are like brothers.
Yeah.
So when that shit happened, I'm like, he's not paying attention to what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
You know when it's your event.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
somewhere else. So what I'm doing here.
Just pull it in.
oh
Just
yeah.
pull it in.
Close.
You good? Kyle, yours is good? Your mic, bring it to you. Bring it to you a little bit.
brother?
Yeah, there you go. There we go. We ready? We on?
Good.
We up? We up? We running?
Damn, I got here on time. Good.
Yeah, perfect timing, brother.
Shit.
Perfect time to take a sip of my Captain Kirk's Jamaican rum punch and get this party started.
I got some too.
You got, yeah.
Yeah,
You got one?
yeah.
That's the sponsor. That's the sponsor. Captain Kirk's Jamaican rum punch. A brother from Brooklyn, man. That's the homie from Brooklyn.
Say, this tastes like, you know.
But do I have to drink it out of a cup?
You
No,
don't
you
have
figure
to
out that-
drink it however you want to.
Okay. I need a paper bag. To be
Shout out Captain
Thank
Kirk,
you.
man. They don't even know what they in for right now. You're gonna definitely enjoy that. You're gonna definitely enjoy that rum punch. Cat straight from Brooklyn, Flatbush.
Yeah, I was
So-
gonna say this is like
Yeah. We back in the building, live from the green room, y'all. What's up? Trey, Elliot in the building. Joe Feezy Fox in the building. You know who I am. World famous Brooklyn's own Rose and Julius's fourth born son, Tony Rock. Welcome to the green room, everybody. Yo, this is a dope ass episode. I already know it's gonna be a dope ass episode because we got two dope ass cats on the couch with us today. One, I don't even know how long I've known this dude. I just know that as long as I've been doing comedy, I've known him. So I don't remember how we met, and that's the sign of a good friendship.
Yeah.
When you just be like, I just always remember knowing him.
Right.
And the other guy, I remember when I met him, I knew him since I was a child, and I would always beg him to put me on Def Comedy Jam, even before I was doing stand-up. It looked so much fun. It looked like so much fun to watch the show. I just thought, hey, man, you should put me on there. And he's like, you don't do comedy. I just want to be on there, though. It looked like so much fun. And this is when Def Jam was, like, explosive. The origin, when it was like, you know, everybody that you
Martin
watch
Def
was
Jam.
like imploding the room.
First
you know what I mean?
hit the spot, yeah.
It was amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, in the green room, we have Kyle Grooms and Bob Sumner. Yo, give them a round of applause. Welcome to the green room. Wait, you look like you're thinking about something. You're mulling it over.
Yeah, he got something.
No, I'm just having like so many flashbacks with all of you guys, and I'm so proud of you guys because I know all these folks from the infancy.
Right.
And not just that. You talking about, can I cuss?
Of course.
Yeah.
You talking about a
Please, guys, please.
But I also know that I have my nieces and my new grandchildren that don't even know what the fuck I'm saying right now. But at the same time, I have receipts.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's all I want to say.
Right.
Is I have receipts. I can tell you a story about him and Boogie right now that I could remember like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know we from the same hood.
Yeah.
We know.
Bob's father gave me my first haircut.
Did you hear that?
Wow.
But just tell him what the name of the barber shop is.
Hollywood.
Wow.
So I went from Roselle to Hollywood by way of Hollywood when I dropped out of. I did a interview earlier today, and I was telling them that I dropped out of preschool. I mean, honestly, I dropped out of preschool because my dad felt like I needed to be in the barbershop with him instead of him stopping his money and going to pick me up
Oh, wow.
from preschool. Think about that shit. I'm 3 years old.
Yeah.
And he takes me out of preschool and everybody looking like, what the fuck? And I'm trying to figure it out. And then I get down there and there was a show called Romper Room. back
Yeah, I
in the
remember
day.
that.
Yeah, romper room.
Dad just turned on Romper Room. We had a bar next door, the VT. Okay, the VT is where all of the dudes
Yeah.
who was running numbers and stuff,
Yeah.
they were like my instructors, my teachers as a kid. So now I'm in Hollywood, the same dude. Trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you
So your
are.
dad thought it was a better education for you in the barbershop than it was in preschool.
Most definitely, because he didn't have to like stop, go pick me up.
Right.
You know, all he really knew how to do it. And I'm so happy that I have my education out of there.
So-
like I value that more than my college and high school education.
You think that was like where the seed was planted for your entrepreneurial spirit?
Well, the seed was planted most definitely when I was, my uncle who used to drive for Dutch Schultz, the gangster.
Yeah.
You know, he got me a peanut machine, a roasted peanut machine, and I had a shining shoes at a young age. But at the same time, down at the barbershop, I was taking in so much, and it really came from, believe it or not, the Apollo Theater. As a kid, my uncle's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was the lead singer for a group called the Platters.
The Platters. Okay.
You know,
Low-key, my father died when I was young, so when I used to go to the barber shop, like your father was one of the dudes I would look at and be like, oh, that's how a man moves. You know what I mean?
that's why I do the
That-
celebrity softball game every year. This is the 9th year that I do it. He passed away, but I keep his memory alive because not only was he the barber, but he was also the truant officer.
Oh, wow.
At one of the high schools
Yeah.
there. Like everybody really, my dad was a special dude, but him and my uncle Tony, who was the lead, he was like Luther Vandross in the 50s. That same group, Why Do Fools Fall in Love?
Yeah.
Where Hallie played Zola, Frankie Lyman's like, well, that's the group. And the Apollo, Moms Mabley. I've seen Moms Mabley 20 times, at least 20.
Wow.
Did you have
You
a
know?
cousin that was a professional baseball player?
Yeah, Willie Randolph's my uncle.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, my mom worked at RCA Rackets. She did the royalties for Sam Cooke and Elvis Presley, all that type of stuff. So my life is crazy, but it led to somehow getting to Def Jam Records. And Def Jam Records, while I was doing the underground comedy thing, it was underground,
Right.
but I was working at the record company. So it was only right for me to, get down with Stan and Russell on, their television projects. And it turned out to be gold. or
Man, look,
platinum.
it's so much history sitting right here on this couch. So you was working at Def Jam Records.
Yeah, I was
And
assistant to
how
the
did
president.
what was the tie with comedy? What made you, well, you said you were doing your own comedy night, or what was going on?
No, I had comedy banging on the underground. See, what people fail to realize that the reason there's a Kid Capri is because there was a Bob Sumner. I changed the whole thing. You didn't have the piano player at the comedy. You didn't have the snare drum and the cymbals and all that shit. I was playing records at a place called Terminal D in Newark. But prior to that, I was in Plainfield at Grant Avenue Community Center with John Amos.
My home.
I was working. John Amos gave me like a job in being his street team at a place called the Grant Avenue Community Center, which I knew how to make that happen because if you watch the Black Godfather,
Yes,
Clarence
yes,
Avant,
of course.
well, he mentioned a man named Teddy Powell, right? That's when he came from down south and went to Summit. And it tripped me out. In 1959, he hooked up with Teddy Powell. I hooked up with Teddy Powell when I was at Seton Hall University on the radio. He used to do all of the big shows at Newark Symphony Hall and stuff like that. So I started giving away tickets for him on the show. And then I would go downtown and like help, it was crazy. Dizzy Gillespie. My life was music and sports. And comedy was twisted in because seeing Richard Pryor, Slappy White, Nipsey Russell, Godfrey Cambridge, George Kirby. I saw all of them as a little kid in Harlem.
Man,
Yeah,
man.
it's a lot to me, man.
Wait, okay, so we're gonna go to Kyle for a second. So you like we were talking earlier before we started taping, you but born in Jersey,
Yeah, I was born in Jersey.
moved to Miami.
Yeah, I went to school, college in Miami.
Oh, when you leave New Jersey?
87. 19,
Oh, I thought you left. I thought you left as a child.
No, 87. I graduated high school, Jersey, all of that.
And the comedy bug started in Miami.
Yeah.
What-
I
what-
got in 94, 95.
What was the beginning for you in comedy? What was that? What was that light bulb? That moment? Everybody has that moment. Like, I'm gonna do stand up.
I always loved stand-up. Like, from a kid, I fucking listened to every Pryor, did all that. But I
Yeah.
didn't think I could go on
Yeah.
stage and be no comedian type shit. But then once Def Jam hit,
Yeah.
and I saw people who were from the neighborhood being funny, like
Right.
regular dudes, that's when I was like, oh.
It was cats that we saw on the corner being comedians
yeah,
now.
it
Like,
was
yeah.
that's, I could do that, but I didn't think I would do it professionally. I thought I would do it as a hobby. But then my third show, I did the Hollywood joke, how they portray black people in Hollywood, and got a big laugh.
Yeah.
And I was like, ding, 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 ding. I could, I could say something and be funny, and that's when I was like, ooh, it bit me.
I like how you said the third show. So them first two shows, you bombed your ass off.
I did well the
First two
first
shows.
show.
The third show, I said a joke they got.
Second show, I did all right. But
Yeah.
then the third show, that's when I was like, oh, I might be able to do this, for a while.
Now we were talking about the tie. You and I were talking earlier about the tie between you and Bob because you used to do the peppermint.
Yeah, the pepper.
And Bob, you started the peppermint.
Listen.
How did you get the pepper?
But listen, it's
Yeah, like-
it's so much prior to the peppermint. It's so much because
yeah.
it starts with the terminal D,
Terminal D.
of it all. Then it was a Club,
Club
88.
88, yeah.
So all of this was going on, but at the same time, this brother here, I travel all over the country. It's not a Hollywood, New York thing for
Right.
me. I'm in the trenches,
Right.
right? So I'm in Miami, and he's a starling. His first cousin and I are like best friends we're a day apart from kindergarten.
Wow.
So,
Yeah,
but
Stalin
at the
is a
same
family
time,
in Jersey,
but at the
like-
same time, he had to be funny, no different than Zoo Man. Y'all ever heard of Zoo Man?
Of course.
Same thing. Zoo Man's from his people, Plainfield and Roselle and Linden. We are all connected, but all of these guys, they didn't get no free pass to get on the show.
And I give you a ride to the train
so
station.
I'm in so I'm in Miami watching him. And at this time, Marvin Dixon's the star.
Yes.
Shout
Shout out
and
Marvin
it's only
Dixon.
and what I do is I give there's a brother that don't understand why he didn't do Def Jam when he now wants to talk about me like I'm the scum of the earth. All right, I done heard him. Okay, and I done heard him, and it's interesting that I'm in this type of space because y'all know where I'm from. So for me to sit back and hear somebody think that they could be on this platform and talk like they have been talking,
Name
like
'em.
fam, because do you remember when that kid didn't have a jump shot, then he got good later on? It's that type of thing. And the other thing, and this is where I'm going, when you're from a certain city and I'm doing Def Jam, you remember Martin used to introduce people from all over.
Right.
So if it's 5 funny people from one city, but it's 1 in Indianapolis, it's 1 in Birmingham, I'm taking those 2 and the 3 out of the 5
Right.
from that other city, like Chicago. Okay, so if you're from Chicago and you have to come to the Peppermint like Cheryl Underwood did, so many people have come to prove, like I got a room in Jersey now, like you come through the show if you can really get there. And if you kind of, not that everybody on Def Jam was rah-rah, because I had the Warren Hutchinsons and the Charles Cozarts. Like, it wasn't all about you wasn't too this, that, and other to be on the show. Maybe you should just chill like Earthquake and Samoa and them did. They could have been on earlier than they got on, but when they got on, they made a difference. So don't be mad years later when now everybody know who you are, when, Deion Cole, I'm taking Deion Cole and Corey Holcomb and Craig Robinson. Then maybe next season you're ready. But don't start motherfucking me, yo. You dig? So I'm just being straight up. And you know, you was on Shay Shay mentioning my name. You was on 85 South mentioning my name. It's all good. And I remember, like, Arsenal and Mitchell, comedians.
Yes, I'm-
Arsenal
yeah,
and
yeah.
Mitchell, you know, Mitchell's son is one of the top football players. He's playing with the Colts now. He was playing on Georgia. He scored these touchdowns. A.D. Mitchell. He's a big. He's going to be a big name. But anyway, they were like, Arsenal and Mitchell was like that duo.
I remember.
But this other brother had a duo in Chicago. And then he stopped doing the duo and became like a regular comedian. But it's hard to make that transition and think that you're just going to be funny enough to do Def Jam. But don't get funny later and now want to talk about how you should have been on there and all that. So it's just something, and they know who I'm talking about.
Well, you know, that's the thing about comedians, man. You know, when they feel like they deserve it, if there's one person you can't tell anybody anything to, is a comedian that feel like they deserve some shit. And when they don't get it, it's fuck everybody.
Yeah, but you know what, though? The thing
Yeah.
is, I'm not your average executive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've done a lot. You know, I done more than those suit and tie cats. You know what I mean? But the way I flow, bruh, is real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people got to understand that I'm not out here now. Everybody's, you coming out here for so-and-so? I'm not looking for no talent. I find the talent. Most of the names, I'm riding past seeing Mike's name on the Palladium. Mike used to fill in at the Peppermint when Bill wasn't there. And then, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, I look at this thing a lot different than most. I really do. And I think that I thank you guys for giving me this opportunity, really,
man,
to talk
honor,
about it, because I know where I stand in this. I know why he gets up at the Laugh Factory. Real talk. I walk in here, and I hope you don't mind me talking about, you know, I know him from not just Jersey, but from DMV. I know Boogie from New Orleans. Okay. Now I see they both up in the DMV, and they doing their thing. They get to LA. I come out there one night. I think I saw your brother, and he told me to go to London the same night, I think, right? How we ended up in London, and that's a whole nother story. But I'm like, why are you guys up against the wall just looking around? Do they know y'all even comedians? And they're like, you know, because you know how it is when you come out here. I introduced him to Laney and them, and the rest is history. Because I know who's funny. And I know they're funnier than some of them folks that they were putting up on that stage. You dig? Okay?
Yes.
So, and this guy here put him on, and he took over Miami. All of a sudden, he's that dude. You know what I mean? Marvin's still taking off his clothes and shit. And he telling jokes. You know what I mean? No, Marv funny with that
Marv's
taking
super
off the
funny.
clothes.
Marv's
Hell
super funny.
yeah.
That's what I think. I'm guessing that's where we met. Was in Miami, Kyle?
Yeah, it was Miami.
I was down there because they used to book me a lot down there in Coconut Grove.
Yeah,
I would do
yeah.
because you do that run. You do West Palm, Fort Lauderdale, and Coconut Grove.
We were about the same age that time.
We were about the same age.
Y'all like the same age now.
I'm much older.
You know what happened in Coconut Grove one night when we were down there? There was a place right across called Oxygen.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
All right? Now, Oxygen, you know, we're Def Jam. We're Def Comedy Jam. We're Def Music, right? And we have a new single out, right, by this guy named Ludacris, right? New single. We went over to Oxygen and played it, and nobody was feeling it. It was a trip. And then the next week, it runs on TRL and everything. It shoots to #1. Move, get out the way.
Wow.
Get out the way. I never will forget that shit.
Wow. So they wasn't feeling it.
No, it's like a
Yeah.
comedian.
Everybody else-
It's like a comedian.
Yeah.
It's like a comedian. I ran into my man Tony Hinchcliffe yesterday, and Tony was like, "Bob, I remember when you used to Trey. Remember we used to put Tony on on Tuesday night,
Comedy Store, yeah.
right?" And he's like, "Thank you, man. You the only one that really believed in me. And did you hear about what I did last night?" And I said, "I could tell people been walking up and everything, but there's that time when nobody's fucking with you,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden." you that dude.
Yeah, but you can't as a comedian, you cannot as an artist. You can't even dwell on when they not fucking
You
with you. You
can't.
can't get
Can't do that.
You can't beat yourself up over that
because
because
that time's gonna come.
I was
when
told
they are fucking with you, you kind of gotta.
you
gotta-
even
gotta
then
let it
right.
be.
But I was
gotta-
always told that sometimes you're ahead of the curve. You're ahead of the curve, so sometimes they got to catch up to you. Sometimes you got to catch up to them.
Absolutely.
But it's all about getting in that pocket, getting your material in that pocket where okay, now it meshes and the people are fucking with your frequency, and now you out of here. So I never been when I thought there was like a time where people didn't really fuck with me. I'm good. I fuck with me, so I'm good with that.
When I first saw you, I was like, wow. I mean, because it was like, for me, all it takes is that first time.
Yeah.
And for you, and I always told you, I said,
Yeah.
I know this guy,
Yeah.
And it was like, it's time, but the way he's been able to do it is really, really as his own person, like
dope.
Charlie, like them Wayans kids, everybody, because when you got that skill, you have that skill set and you've been around it, it's a no-brainer. And you hold your own. Everything he's gotten because he earned it. And I could tell, I could see it. And should have more.
Yeah.
No, it's coming.
That part.
It's coming. It's
I
coming.
know it
I
is,
ain't-
but I'm just saying, I'm so proud of you guys. Man.
I-
It's like I'm really Uncle Bob, like
The night,
that.
the night I
You.
taped Def Jam when they brought it to LA, and I actually got on the show. I might have told you the story before. I don't remember, but my boy Garrick Dixon was with me,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you and Russell were sitting together.
Okay.
Like you was on the run. You was moving
Yeah.
around the whole building the whole night. But when I was getting ready to come on, you were like, "Yo, I'm gonna go watch your set," and you came in and sat next to Russell. And G purposely sat behind you guys, but in the middle. So you guys are here, and G's in the middle, so he can hear everything you guys are saying.
Okay.
And you sat down and was like, "Yo, I'm telling you, like, watch." And I came out and did my set, and Russell turned to you and said, "Yo, that motherfucker's gonna be a star."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he jumped the fuck up and ran. That motherfucker ran out the building, ran around the back because they had the trailers in the back.
Yeah.
Ran around
Yeah.
to the back. I was like, "Yo, I just heard Russell." He was like, "That motherfucker's gonna be a star." I'm like, "You out of here?" I'm like, "Bro, he probably said that about everybody." Goddamn
Nah.
show.
But here's the thing. It was like for you though. I mean, we would see you at the building. You know what I mean? We would see you was like Chrissy's little brother. That's
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
You're in. And
I was tagging along like a
to
motherfucker
watch
the whole
you
time.
do that. It was like an amazing. It was so dope. So dope. Yeah.
It's something how you just said, and you should have more. Don't say it's coming. It's coming. And yeah, it's definitely coming.
Right.
But at the end of the day, sometimes we have to recognize, you know what? Yeah, like it's when other people say it, it just makes it
Right,
like
yeah.
valid.
It confirms
because
it. Right,
you
they
don't have
always
to
say
say it.
we not supposed to say it. Like, yo, I'm supposed to. Yo, they ain't fucking with that. But we all know as humans.
Right.
Do y'all-
The real thing is you're not supposed to say it out loud.
I keep it in perspective because I always recognize how far I've already come. So when people are like, you should have more. Yeah, I get that. But dude, look at how fucking far I came. Like,
Yeah.
I'm from the hood, bro. Like I'm from, like, you know where I'm from.
Yeah.
I'm from the worst, bro.
But do y'all realize that I see people like 10 years prior to when they finally make it?
Yeah.
I mean, so many.
crazy.
So many. And then I see the youngins who do make it kind of quick. You know what I mean? That happens too. And then I also see the ones who was sitting real high on their horse and fell all the way down off that motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's really a trip.
You're gonna see
with
all- you're gonna
this.
see all of that.
But you just gotta hang in there, man, and make it happen, because when I look at somebody like Quake been all that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right now, I'm starting to do some things with this bruh, Freddie Ricks.
Yeah, Freddie.
Wow.
Shout out to
Freddie Ricks should really be in somebody's writing room out here. You know what I mean? But Freddie's in New York, and nobody,
Yeah, Freddie been funny.
But
Freddie's-
yeah, that's what I'm
hilarious.
saying.
Yeah. I just did
but your
Quake.
time comes.
I just did Quake's podcast before I came here.
Okay.
And Quake is 30 plus years in.
There's no doubt about
And
it.
literally just starting to get his props.
And
like
Quake used
the
to
special,
get-
then the deal, now, serious show. But I'm like, this is 30 plus.
Yeah, and Quake knew him, Bruce. I had a tour with Bruce, Quake, J. Anthony Brown, Arnez J, and Monique. That's a whole nother tour from Bill Bellamy, Adele Givens, Bernie Mac, and here's one for you, Reggie McFadden.
Reggie
Wow.
McFadden.
Yeah, where is Reggie McFadden?
Wow.
I heard he owned a diamond mine in Africa.
There you
now.
go.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He hit
Well,
me.
owned
He hit me with
I'm
it.
about to say,
I'm
I'm
just
like,
saying.
He might-
That sounds like it could have been true.
Nah, he's doing some
No, he
mining
is
or something.
doing
He hit me.
Oh.
He was convincing me to, not convincing
To move to
trying
Africa?
convince me.
Miami
To
Nights.
invest.
Let me.
In a diamond mine in
Could
Africa.
I ask y'all a question? And I know
Yes, sir.
Kyle's gonna go here with me. You know what comedy needs now, because everyone has gotten so caught up in that social media area, which is all what it is because it is. But in terms of the comedian really learning what being a stand-up and how to do it the right way, there was a thing called the Creative Tour. Okay, in the Creative Tour, Nate Smith, Kevin Hart's Nate Smith.
Okay.
He's the one that put it together. In the
What year we
headliner,
talking?
we're talking the 90s.
Okay.
This is where I would get most of my comedians, like when I got Chris Tucker, was at the Bay Area Comedy Competition.
Okay.
Between the Bay Area Comedy Competition and the Creative Tour, that's where I saw the comedians. And you would have J.J. Williamson and Tony Tone in a car, and they would start in D.C. and end up in Miami by way of Chattanooga doing all these one-nighters and shit. Bruce had a room called the 559 in Atlanta.
559,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it was like the peppermint on steroids.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yes.
559,
Then
yeah.
the reason I'm thinking of Miami now is Marvin Dixon and Lil Floyd and Studio 183, Miami Nights. It was like you had to be
where I
there.
started.
This is what I'm saying. There's a history that these comedians all was joining. They was coming together and they was learning the trade. You had Virginia Beach, you had Richmond, you had DC, you had Secrets in Columbia, South Carolina. And I'm talking about
man.
Talent and Rob Stapleton and them. Monique had a room in Baltimore. But it was like all the rooms coming together, giving these comedians an opportunity to learn, and that's when I bring them all up to New York City. That's how they all met.
So that was like the stomping, the proving ground.
And that's what's happening now with what I'm doing in Willingboro. Last week, I had 3 comedians perform at the Apollo that I all saw them for the first time in Willingboro. And that
Where's
led them-
Willingboro?
Willingboro,
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
New Jersey. Yeah, we do a room every first Saturday since 2015.
And what is it? If you kill
Marshall
there,
Brandon host. Yeah.
if you kill there, then you bring them up to the Apollo.
Yes,
What's
sir.
Is there like a criteria to get to the Apollo, or just
Yeah, it's a criteria to come to Willingboro, so I can see you live. I don't want to see no tape.
Right,
I don't
right.
want to
No
see
more tape.
because your tape is nothing like when you sent it to a college and you sent the one that didn't show you getting your shot.
Yeah,
getting blocked
yeah,
5
yeah,
times,
yeah,
or
yeah.
you're getting fumbling the ball and
Yeah.
shit.
You wanna
see
You know?
yourself.
Yeah, I want to see you when them bright lights. Even with Def Jam, I used to tape 60, but we only aired 48.
oh wow.
So you ain't gonna be like the Apollo. Remember the Showtime at the Apollo? You know somebody gonna get booed, and they all comedians is downstairs in the green room hoping the motherfuckers get booed, right?
In there.
Yeah.
Wait, so what? The 183rd, Kyle, you started in Miami. What's your start like? What's your beginnings like?
Studio 183. Studio 183. I started. My first show was in Perth Amboy, New Jersey, at a
Perth
hair
Amboy,
show.
yeah.
I
At a
did
hair show.
For my girlfriend worked at a hair show, and it was mostly Dominicans and Puerto Ricans in the crowd. So I went up and did like Spanish novellas shit. And
You were doing comedy at the time? or-
No. I wanted to do comedy.
Okay.
So she put on a hair show where she had dancers and then different talents. So I said, I could do comedy. And then I went and the host didn't show up, so they asked me to host.
Nice.
And then do my comedy.
Right.
So, I hosted, introduced a dancer, blah, blah, blah. And then I went into my set and I did 14 minutes and ripped that bitch.
wow.
Like, I didn't know any better. I didn't
Right.
know you weren't supposed to do 14 minutes your first time on stage. But I geared it towards Latinos and talked about
Right.
Yeah.
soap
That's
operas
great.
and,
14 minutes.
14 minutes, B. And then Then I moved back to Miami, and then I started fucking with Marvin Dixon's room at Studio 183. That's a whole different. That's like Miami's the South. It used to be like strippers from the Rolex, dope boys,
Right.
Miami Dolphins players, like blue collar worker, every social economic thing of black Miami.
Right.
Hood, you know, and then you go and it's like packed, and then there's dudes in the balcony that's ready to boo you. And
Yeah.
yeah. Every week, my phone would ring, and he'd be like, "Kyle," this is before caller ID out here. He'd be like, "Kyle, this is Marvin," and my heart would jump out. Yeah, what's that? Hey, you want to come do some time? Yeah.
It was like that.
So were you having bad sets during that?
No, I didn't have bad
Okay.
sex. I didn't, but but it was just so much pressure to have a you want. I
Yeah.
did have one bad set where I
Yeah.
think it was the worst ever.
At 183rd?
At Studio 183rd.
What happened?
I did a joke where I went up there too confident. I was hot. Then I had a few little runs there that was good. And then I did this joke where I said white people cross the street like this and black people cross the street like that. You know, it was a joke. And then I act like I fell into the mic and rolled around. The mic stand the cable pulled out the ground. They had to replace the mic.
Yeah.
You know, it was just
It just didn't work.
Wait, hold on. We gotta let Bob out. You go to the bathroom?
they booed the shit out of me.
Show me where the restroom is.
Yeah. So with that boo, how did that make, but you was already having good sets already prior to that boo.
Yeah, but once you get booed, it's just like, you want to come back again the next time.
Yeah, get him.
But you know what's funny?
Die from it.
You said you describing the room, right? all good, bro. All good. When you come back, sit back, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Everybody got a bad back. Well, it's like this. You described the rooms, how hood they were. Now I don't know. You disagree if you will. I look at you as like a mainstream comic.
Yeah.
But isn't it interesting that even the mainstream black comics, all of us, had to start in some of the worst fucking places.
No, before when I started doing mainstream rooms, I would get nervous. I would look around and see all the white faces.
Yeah.
Like, are they gonna relate to the shit I'm saying? But then I also had to, because I was doing Studio 183, but I had an art director job. Then I had to go. I had, the Bill Cosby sweaters. I was wearing Banana Republic. Back then, and they would look at me sideways. This dude look funny, but he don't look funny.
Yeah.
So I had to fight, And then even when I get off stage, Miami's a different dialect.
Right.
And dudes be like, "Hey man, you funny as hell, dog. You talk like them crackers, but you funny." Like, my New Jersey dialect is white to them in Miami.
I didn't even know you was from Jersey. That's dope. Yeah. Didn't know you was from Jersey,
Be a
man.
break dancer.
Used to be break. Wow.
Well, I was a backup dancer.
Backup dancer.
What good?
Yeah.
A backup
Nigga
break
on
dancer. That's
on
great.
Soul Train one time.
Damn.
Right? No, it's not.
It was a party machine.
Party Machine, yeah.
For real?
Wait, who was the person
Yeah.
that was singing? And
Nia
you,
Peoples.
Nia? No,
A dude named Mario.
Mario.
We had a little record single out that was blowing up the charts in the East and West Coast.
so we gonna
I'll
pull that
never do
shit.
that.
We gonna pull that shit.
We're gonna try to
We
find
gonna
it.
find it. Put it up here.
And then what was your first TV credit? Because that's when I remember seeing. I remember seeing you.
With Nia Peoples.
He said, hilarious.
After that, with the stand up.
My stand up, I got on Def Jam my second year doing stand up.
Oh wow.
So that's where I first saw you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
My
That's where I
second
first saw you, yeah.
When they first moved it to LA, Bob came to Miami. I auditioned once and I auditioned another time. Bob saw me a few times, but then he came and my second year he booked me on Def Jam.
And let me just say what that's all about. If you rock in the room, remember, Def Jam, all you got to do is come do 7 minutes.
Right.
It's your showcase. It's not about you, the end all. Everybody, I heard one dude, they got this joint out now on the Mecca of comedy, DC, right? They're talking about DC being the Mecca of comedy, and there's a comedian on there talking about how Def Jam only paid you $717. You know, that's what that's what it was. That was it.
That was scale.
Yeah, it was scale, and that was better than what some of them other. I know what was going on, but understand. But here's the thing: don't complain about that. Look at all of the people that skyrocketed from that showcase. You go out there and you start playing those theaters and clubs and stuff. Just like when Def Jam was nothing but your single. You're 45. You know what I mean? And you go on and you see what's happening now. And you see how many people, Tracy went over to Martin, Steve and Sid came together. You know, it's so much to it. And I could tell y'all this, and you need to hear this. This is really something that, I mentioned your brother telling me to go to
London.
I pull up to the Laugh Factory, and he's standing outside, and he said that he knew I was in town, and he had to tell me this. And this is right before, I guess he went to scout it out and saw what it was.
Right.
Shortly after that, he went and played. O2, right? But anyway, Russell Stanley called me, and they say that, we got Kojo, comedian Kojo.
Yeah.
They got this thing going on. They want us to come play Manchester, Birmingham, and in London, the Apollo in Brixton, right? So I take Dominique, K. Capri, Tony Roberts, Capone, because Tony and Capone had just come off a fire of Def Comedy Jam tapings here, right? When we came here the second time, right, with DL. So I had them, and I had Patrice O'Neal.
Wow.
Okay? That show, oh my God. It was like Dom, and then you come with Tony and Capone and Patrice, right? It was fire. So now, dig this. They had a thing over here in the States called the Shack All-Stars.
Yeah,
and they started putting all of the Aries and the Arnazes, they started running out of talent. So Earl Jackson, who used to work with Bay Area, and then he was working with them, he called me. He said, Bob, do you know, is there any who's hot out here that I could, we could use on the Shack All Stars? I said, well, you need to check Tony Roberts and Capone out. Put them on there, and that was how they got on.
Wow.
No one knows this shit.
Wow. Now let me ask you this.
Receipts.
You said something interesting about Def Jam. It's a 7-minute set.
7 minutes.
And it's a life-changing 7-minute set. For a
But
lot
it
of-
gets cut down.
right,
It's a
right.
half-hour show.
Because they're like
Yeah.
to 5,
To 5.
4.5 maybe,
So
right?
your shit really look hot.
Right. So do you think that was like the benefit of doing Def Jam for all of those guys coming out? Because what I mean by that is this. It's only 7 minutes, right? So you get to do a 7-minute set. You get to perfect a 7-minute set. You could kill in 7 minutes.
Sometimes
you could
that's all you have.
And you could come back the next visit and kill again in 7 minutes. Let's say you're a comic, a working comic with a hot 30, and you only got to do 7. That's gonna get cut down to 5. You could realistically do that shit 6 times and kill every time.
I.e.
And by
Bernie
that time, you out of here.
I.e. Bernie
Right?
Mac.
Right?
I.e. Bernie Mac.
So that was a plus.
Definitely a plus. However, what wasn't a plus is the promoter. No different than these promoters now who want these guys who they see on Instagram or whatever doing them quick things, and they try to book them to do a show.
And try to
you
book 'em
don't
to do
have
an
the time.
hour. They try to book 'em to do
or
a- yeah.
whatever. You don't have the time. It was the same thing with the Def Jam comic. I knew they only had 7, but they don't have 20, and that's why they didn't go on tour with me. You know what I mean? However, you take somebody like Bernie, you know what I mean? I made Bernie the host of the tour when Martin went to do his own thing. You know what I mean? Because it's like you had to have the ones that can stretch it out and also the ones that you could bring back. Think about Bernie. When Bernie came back to do the I Ain't Scared of You, that was after Stir It Like Coffee. Take Me Out, where Bernie was actually on another show and we took him out and put him to close another show. That's how we played,
Right.
all of that. But the real deal was have your material up where one time I had 2 tours out at one time. Ricky Harris, Arnez J and them was on one, and then we had the other tour. simply marvelous.
Oh wow.
So then, was that true as far as with? I mean, they always say in a comedy realm and comedy conversations that Chris Tucker didn't really have more than 7 minutes at the time when
He only had like
he,
15.
so he was struggling when he went on tour.
Well, no, Chris didn't struggle on tour.
Okay.
Because on tour, all you needed was 20, and Chris and Kid Capri, they would have enough fun. Chris never. I've never seen Chris Tucker struggle a night in my life.
Okay.
Only because I never saw that.
Okay.
Even I didn't put him on tour until he was ready. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have done that.
Both his Def Jam sets.
Was fire.
Yeah. No, Chris.
Man.
But even when
Come on now.
I saw him at the Bay Area, it was fire. And I.
Who do you think had the most? This is all like everybody. Who do you think had the most memorable Def Jam set?
Bernie Mac.
Oh, Bernie.
I ain't scared of you.
Yeah.
Well,
Chris Tucker's the Roaches fighting.
I think to me, I think me and my friends in our 20s. quoted
Eddie Griffin's Michael Jackson smoking crack.
yeah.
That was good.
Which girl had that? What's crazy?
Adele giving us a whale on the Tic Tac.
Well, that was
Yeah, you
the
named
whale.
all the hits.
Adele's Whale and Tic Tac wasn't as funny as the original Whale and Tic Tac. She did the original Whale and Tic Tac at a showcase for HBO in Sweetwaters.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. Look at Whale and Tic Tac and see who spoke to her when she did that.
Brother Ice.
Yeah, and there's a reason because I told him to sit there and say it.
Oh, so they set it up.
Yeah, and it worked. Yeah,
Oh,
and it
okay,
was so
nice.
dope.
A little pre-production,
Yeah,
huh?
but she
Okay.
knows how dope that was.
Okay. Yeah,
The
Bernie.
only- the only
Same
reason I
thing
would
with
say-
Guy Tori. Knock knock, who's there?
Y'all set up.
Yeah.
Saw it at the showcase.
Yeah. No. I saw it
At Sweetwater.
No, I saw it at somewhere else.
Okay.
I would always see these jokes before you. One lady, Will Silvers and I were at the 50-yard line in Chicago. I never forget, Will was in town, I think, playing All Jokes Aside or something.
Okay.
So it was this lady that performed at 50-yard line, and she killed, right? And I'm like, I'm going to put her on Def Jam, right? Now, we used to stay on 43rd Street around the corner from the theater, right? So the car pulls up. She gets out the car. She says, Bob, you got to hear my new material. I said, your new material? I said, you have to do what I saw you do. She didn't hear me. And when she went on that stage, she was one of those, when I say I taped 60 and only used 48,
He was 49.
Who was she?
she was the first person.
Is she still doing comedy?
I doubt it. I don't even remember, I don't
Oh,
remember.
man. Man.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to her for just
Yeah.
saying fuck the good set.
The only reason I would say Bernie is because of the situation that made him say, I ain't scared of you.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Once you heard the backstory behind it, it was like, okay.
But it's so many backstories. Even today, when I did the documentary earlier, we spoke about it, and they was talking about how everybody who came in to speak about the documentary talked about that, and everybody had a different story.
'Cause
I have the real
heard
story.
He came up with that in Miami. Somebody told me.
I have the
Oh,
real
really?
Yeah, you know
I
what I
have the
mean.
real
But then
story.
I heard somebody bombed before him.
That's the story I heard.
But
Oh, somebody bombed during the taping before him?
Yeah. You never heard that?
No,
I heard folks
Look,
just
the
taking
source is right here.
Of course you were there. I mean, it's just like I heard people just taking L's and the crowd just wasn't feeling no.
Nah, it was hamburger.
Oh damn!
No,
Give us the
Yeah, it was the real,
give us
Bob.
the real, Bob.
the real is, again, I would tape 60 comedians. So there's 12 shows that we're taping with 5 comedians per show.
Right.
Okay? This is Def Jam Season 2. Remember? Because Bernie had on the colored pants.
Yeah.
The first time he had on the sweater. Take me out. All right. So everybody knew who Bernie was when he hit the stage.
Right.
So he already had the fucking audience in the palm of his hands. Okay? But it goes all the way back to what I call Bernie's set right there, the greatest callback ever. Okay? You know what a callback is, right? All he did was call back. Everybody had forgot about the dude who went in the second place. It's 5 people. Chris Tucker leads it off. I always call my opening guy the Chris Tucker spot. Fire. Okay? So and that was the fire with the
The roast.
exactly.
roast,
Okay.
Good stuff,
Yeah.
man.
Okay. So now I follow Chris Tucker with this cat from DC.
Kevin Anthony.
No, it wasn't Kev. It wasn't Kev on. It wasn't Kevin. It was this other comedian, right? And he came on telling, I can't make this shit up. This is Def Jam, y'all, New York City, and he's telling jokes about the Cleaver family from Leave It to Beaver. I mean, it was like, what? And you got to remember, we're a new show,
Yeah.
and I'm putting all different types of comedians on.
Right.
So he had a really decent showcase, but that doesn't mean he's going to make the cut
Right.
because it's only 48 making the cut. So he was really stinking up the joint, but he wasn't getting booed because Martin had made that clear in one of the earliest tapings, this ain't the Apollo. Okay? So now the audience is just like silence. Now, if it was that other show that used to come on where they played crickets, they would have played crickets.
Yeah.
It was like that. However, so he just went off stage. Capri played some music. Martin come on, and he's like, this is where we getting ready to like go crazy now. So now here comes, I believe, AJ Sanders. Okay, it was either AJ or Yvette Wilson, one of the two. They come on and they have cool sets because people know them, right? Or whatever the case may be. They're new, but AJ was on a different world and Yvette was just dope from the first season of Def Jam. I forget which one it was that performed, but then Hamburger came on and Hamburger did quite well. Okay, Hamburger came on and did quite well. And then here comes the Mac Man. And when Mac Man Kid hit that music, and everybody's so happy to see him because they remember him from the first time.
Right.
And they also remember him because we done already toured the Garden from him hosting the Garden. So he hit that stage, and everybody's looking at him, and he just said, y'all don't understand. And the place just went crazy off of him saying that, right? And then he said, I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. It went to a whole nother level. And him and Kid had already been on tour with that vaudeville back and forth. So he said, kick it. And there it was. And then he got, and then came back, and that's all it was. It was as simple as that.
So folks lied to us.
Well, I mean,
You heard from the man.
he just had, he just had so
guy?
many things.
I pulled my shit out this whole room again.
Yeah, and it was just a banging,
Stir it
banging,
like
banging.
coffee.
It was a stir it like coffee was the first time.
Right.
Yeah, that was the first time Bernie hit. So, but the funniest part to all of this is when we would go back to the hotel afterwards, and everybody would congregate up in my suite, right, and everybody hanging out and stuff, talking about the shows and this, that, and the other, right, and somebody, Angie Means knocks on the door, right? Angie goes, everybody open, everybody looking at her, and Angie say, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all act like somebody got booed. And the dude who didn't do well was in the room.
Wow.
Oh, it was like the Snickers commercial, not going anywhere. That was so cool. Angie had killed that night too, boy.
Face Man had a good. Remember Face Man? He had
Yeah, he's back
Yeah.
around.
Face Man was in what was he, a Harlem cat, right?
Yeah.
He was Harlem cat.
Yeah, he's back around. He just
I
popped
remember.
back up.
I've seen him.
Very funny.
I remember when they used to do the Uptown,
No, most definitely.
and rest in peace, Jimmy Mack
Yes.
was the man that was host the night, and
And Monterey Ivy.
Monterey Ivan, man, he rest in peace. That's the big homie.
That's
right there. I
right.
miss that cat. He used to do warm ups for my brother's show when my brother had a show
Absolutely.
in the city. He was
That's right.
Yeah, Monterey is the man. He was the
HBO.
man. Yeah, I miss him. But I remember one year we were up in Harlem for Harlem Week. For Harlem Week. Harlem Week, for the people that don't know, it's a week-long block party on 125th Street. It was a thing they used to do every year back in the day. And all the stores on 125th Street would sell all of their merchandise on the sidewalk. So the streets were all closed off. And we were up there. Me and my boys took the train from Brooklyn. We hanging out. We just walking around. I had never touched a mic before, but I knew I wanted to do stand-up. Walking past the Uptown, somebody's outside barking for the audience. Like, yo, comedy show starting in 10 minutes, yo, y'all can get tickets. And my boys knew I wanted to do stand-up. So they say, yo, we'll all pay to get in if you let him go up. And the dude was like, bet. And everybody paid to get in, and it was like, we putting you up. I had no written material whatsoever. None. But I knew I was funny with my friends. How hard could it be? How difficult could it be? And I went up at my first line. I tried to snap on Jimmy Mack. Jimmy Mack had on some plaid pants. No, he had like some burgundy pants on and like a plaid blazer, like Ralph Cramden when he would play golf with his
Right.
boss. And he goes, give it up for Tony Rock. And I come on stage like, yeah, give it up for this motherfucker looking like he about to go play golf with Ralph Cramden or some shit. Get the fuck out of here, yo. And he was like, oh, that's what we doing? He wasn't even off the stage, and he was like, "Oh, that's what we doing? Okay, cool," and walked away. And I was like, I didn't think nothing of it. I'm like, whatever. I make fun of him, and then a couple people was like, "Nah, you can't. No, you don't do that to Jimmy Mack." And I'm like, "Oh, shut up, man. Let me tell my jokes, man." And then a couple people started booing, and I was like, "See, I knew they told me the ugly people was gonna boo. I didn't know there was that many ugly people in here." And it was like, boo. And I said, "Yeah, you could boo, but why you booing, baby girl? You fine, the motherfucker, boo." Yo, they booed me off the stage.
Wow,
That was
man.
bad, but it wasn't as bad as when Jimmy Mack came back on stage and got that fucking mic. And he said, the one thing you gotta learn, young boy, you can say whatever the fuck you want to say about Jimmy Mack. When you get off stage, Jimmy Mack, get the mic back. And that motherfucker roasted the shit out of me for the rest of the night.
What a great guy, man.
Somebody would come up and sing a song, and he would come back up like, "Now that's talent. You see that, Tony? That's talent." And somebody would come up and do a poem, and he'd be like, "Yeah, this nigga know what he was talking about. He knew what he was talking about. That nigga didn't know what the fuck he was talking about." Like every other act, he would come up and roast me. But I remembered it that night. I vividly remember it because I was so excited about being on stage that I didn't even care that I got booed. I was so excited about something in my life. In that moment, I realized like this is a life-changing moment for me. At Uptown when it was on 125th.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, this is a life-changing moment for me because before that, I couldn't tell you anything I was that excited about. I played sports my whole life, but I was like, that moment was like, man, I definitely want to be a part of this. And that's when I knew you before that. But then that's when you would come around and Chrissy would hang out and I would always be like, yo, Bob, you got to get me on there, man. You got to get me on there. But so like, what was the cultivation? My question is, what was the cultivation of Def Jam between you and Russell and whoever else was involved? Was it like they saw the show and they saw your show that you were doing at the places in Jersey and said, let's take it to TV? Or was it a bigger conversation that you guys had?
It was a combination of a whole lot of different things. But one of the things
Because it was definitely lightning in the bottle.
Well, the thing was, I was in the game. You know, my first comedy show was in Plainfield, February the 8th, 1985.
Damn.
Okay, so I was already. That was the first time I decided that I wanted to try to do a comedy show because one of my friends I went to high school with used to go pick a number at Catch a Rising Star.
Oh, my God, I remember that.
No, Chrissy used to be there.
I remember that, yeah.
And Mario.
I remember
and all
that.
them guys.
I remember that.
So I said, man, I'm going to start seeing if I can't start getting you out there because I was a popular DJ dude and everything. So I put together this show at Grand Avenue. And from there, you know, I jumped into doing Terminal D and Club 88 and the Peppermint. And when I first left Terminal D and got to Club 88, that's when I got my job at Def Jam. But I had already been doing this comedy thing, and even like I was doing jazz, and Bill Bellamy was with me the whole ride. And I found out that this sister worked at Def Jam, and I was trying to get Bill on the Fresh Fest tour. Chris Thomas was doing it, and I was
Chris
trying to see
Thomas.
if I can't get Bill somewhere. And then she told me that she was looking for an assistant. She got a job as president of Def Jam, and I said, I'll do it. And I got a job as her assistant at Def Jam, only to find out that Russell and Stan was getting ready to partner on a TV company. They did a show with Ellen Cleghorn, MC Search, and Dougie Doug called The New Music Report. And they did it in the same room that we do the Apollo Comedy Club at the Apollo. So all this is happening, and then that show left. So now they want to do something else, and Carmen was like, damn, Bob is doing all this comedy stuff. Maybe he could put together a pilot, you know, this, that, and the other. And I took a couple execs from the HBO over to on a Sunday to Uptown Comedy Club. Crazy Sam scared the shit out of me. Like I never will forget it. But they saw how hot it was, and then in Jersey, Russell and Stan and them came over and saw what I had put together with a showcase with all these fresh comedians. Then I did the big showcase, and Chrissy was like the guest comedian at Sweetwater's in New York, and the rest was history. Like that's how it began. Then I did 5 cities. I did L.A. I came here. I saw D.L. Hughley, Joe Torre, Yvette Wilson, Simply Marvelous. Like I started putting that together. Teddy Carpenter was in D.C. Dave Chappelle was in D.C. You know, this is before Donnell Rollins and the guys. So I was putting together all this, like in these Atlanta. I forget who I pulled out of Atlanta, but I had the right crew to do this 2-show pilot that turned into 104 shows.
Wow.
Damn.
It's crazy when I'm just hearing you talk, right? And how, you know, everything kind of just comes together when you hear people's stories. Like you said, Grand Avenue was the first, you know, and my house was right around the corner. Where I was right off of Front Street. You know,
So you know I'm not fronting.
yeah. And then when you say Club 88, you know, my stepbrother, Jeffrey, the one who always come to the shows in Jersey, he was the security guard
No doubt.
at Club 88.
Right.
Goldie.
Right.
By Goldie.
Right.
And you know what I mean? So just to hear, you know, how you already in it without even knowing you're in it. You know what I'm saying? You know, you're right there, man. So just to hear that.
And I'm very passionate about this art. This isn't a hustle. And one of the things that I hate to see is some of these comedians, man, that they forget about them being a comedian because they so busy checking the door. Need I say more?
Yeah. Yep. A lot of that. You have a question?
Was Charlie Barnett?
We have questions? We have questions? Okay, go.
For the comments. First and foremost, a lot of people from the chat are giving you guys praise and congratulations for 1K.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
1K?
Subscribers,
Yeah.
We was on like 200 a week ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
But and then K9 specifically has 2 questions. One for Mr. Sumner and also one for Kyle. First one for Mr. Sumner. Do you have any stories with JB and Aries?
Yeah, well, I put Aries on when he was 14 years old.
Aries shouted you out on our last
we had him on the
episode.
podcast. He shouted you out.
Shouted you out.
Well, here's the thing. Aries, when I was doing the jazz stuff, Aries' mom's, Doris,
He told me.
She said that her son did comedy, and could he come in here and do comedy? I said, as long as you're here with him, he can. And I worked with him all the way. And once he got his working papers, he was 16, and he did Def Comedy Jam.
Yep.
You know, but Aries and I mean, I love Aries, man. People could say what they want about Aries, but at the same time, I know where Aries come from, too. You know what I'm saying? And that's why he has that, what he has. It happened too early for him. It happened early for him. So, you know, the way he roll, he's been bullshitted. You know what I'm saying? So now he just, you know, but what I've noticed from his last recent, you know, Aries has found he seems to be coming around.
We had to.
I
we
really-
talked about that.
Huh?
We talked about that at length when we had him on the podcast.
It's done it.
Yeah.
It seems like, but with me, it's 2 guys that I must really, really say they have never forgotten the seed I planted for them, and I'm really proud of them. And it's the way Aries, you know, went through and became Aries. But the other one is Avion.
Oh, hey, fine. Hey.
Avion is just a great guy. You know what I mean? Very talented. You know, Avion not only performed on Def Comedy Jam, but he danced with the dance.
Oh yeah.
And it led him to Soul Train.
Wow.
You know? Yeah, so it's always those little, you know, things. You know, Kevin Hart won a contest for me.
Oh, really?
You know, he won the same year D. Ray Davis, Coca Brown, all of them was going to be on that season of Def Jam. Wanda Sykes used to set up my showcases in D.C. You know, all of them was going to be on that next season of Def Jam, but we wasn't on. And then Chrissy came on with his show, and
Yeah.
Wanda
went
made.
through-
I was so happy for them.
Yeah.
I always want to see these folks win.
Yeah.
You know, I remember the day I got Bill on MTV. That's a whole nother story.
Big. What's the question?
What's
What's
up?
the question for Kyle?
Yeah, so it was, how did the brain surgery affect your comedy?
Dun-dun-dun.
Yo, you know what? I wanted to ask that question. Thank you, because I was going to get to that. K9 asked the question. I was going to get to that because I don't know if everybody knew the story.
No.
Oh yeah.
So you can,
the brain
you can
surgery.
tell everybody. You can tell us the whole story.
I just had to focus on just getting back articulate and speeding up my reaction time, and reading right. Just back to normal.
Yeah, but what's the backstory? Yeah, what
what happened?
2019, I had a brain bleed that I had to have brain surgery. And it was my brain was bleeding. My left frontal lobe had a cavernoma, which is like a lump of cells that form like a tumor, and it had its surgery, but it turned out to be benign, so it doesn't grow.
Yeah.
And they say, it could have been in my head forever. Like people have them, you live long lives without them, but sometimes they rupture and bleed. So.
How did they catch it?
I had a seizure. I had a seizure at a vegan restaurant, and
Nigga outside with a burger like that. That boy gonna die. Can't taste shit. No flavor. Gonna kill his ass. From the story I remember hearing was you were in the restaurant with your daughters, and your daughter thought you was being you were playing around.
They thought I was bullshitting. I didn't know what was happening. I just started.
Shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then somebody grabbed me, and the kids were there. It was wild.
I remember that. I remember getting a phone call. I remember everybody.
Listen.
Like people don't realize. Like a lot of people don't. Like Kyle's my dude for real. Like that's my
and
guy.
I appreciate the because they had a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
And Tony, he blessed me, man.
Yeah. But like I tell people all the time, like yo, Kyle's my guy. Like this motherfucker stays at my house when he comes to LA. Like that's how. Like if I'm leaving town, like here's the keys, here's the car, nigga, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? So when they called me and told me, I was like, damn.
God bless you, man.
Thank God it was 2019, because 2020, nobody would have gave it. We all doing bad.
PPP money
We
going
all
on.
doing,
You
we all doing
Let me
bad.
say this though, man, and God bless you, Kyle, man. And it's a lot of it has to do with you. You're a great guy, man.
Yeah.
And God's watching you, man. And you're blessed. And what people like, we have this platform here to speak, and people are responding here. But what Kyle just went through, and to be here to still, kick it with us. I remember when I came to LA to shoot Comic View, One Mic Stand with Kevin Hart, right? And on my way back home, I broke down, man. I broke down because I was able to give some more comedians an opportunity to be seen, real stand-up comedians. And I didn't know if I would ever be able to do it again, because if you see this thing here, that was a hole in my head.
Oh, wow.
I was carjacked in 2005 in Newark, New Jersey on a cold December 14th night. It was 12 degrees, man. And they almost killed me. I got hit with a sword or a shotgun. That's what this is. They banged me up, stomped me, man. I ran for miles. No clothes, man, and everything. I was down for Apollo Jess, DJ Jess came to my house. And my son said, I came to the door. Just till this day, say, Bob, man, I didn't even know it was you. You know what I mean? But here I am sitting here with you guys. What I want to say to America, it's real out here, bro. It's real. And that's why I have such a, I have a loving, caring spirit, but I don't give one. Okay? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Really, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying.
Oh, okay. I thought you had one more question.
Are more questions too.
Go.
So we actually just got one from a Robert Arnold, not from me. They said, why did Sumner tell Godfrey that he wasn't black enough to do Def Jam?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we
I
didn't
didn't know
know
that.
that either.
That was Robert. That wasn't me.
Because I spoke about it and y'all was trying to figure out who was I talking about.
Oh, is that what? Is that what it was? Oh,
God, okay.
Ain't that a trip?
Oh.
You see? Yeah, dude, did y'all hear that?
Yeah.
Wasn't I never said that. I never said that. Must have felt that. Because what I say, Warren Hutchinson did it. You know what I mean? It was like we had, that, what do you mean? Wasn't, think about who said that. Think about who said it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you're in your feelings as opposed to waiting for your opportunity. Now you done got a little bit of juice and you're going to talk about me. Whoever just said that to you, I don't even know who it is. But how do they know that's what I said? Because they believe that bullshit. All right? So that's all I'm saying. I never said that. And think about if you did come to the Peppermint, which I don't ever remember, but I do remember you in Chicago. You wasn't ready. Even,
Yeah.
you got your jump shot later.
No, it happened.
But leave me alone because I'm not that dude. So don't you be on 85 South putting your middle finger up, okay? Saying fuck Bob Sumner.
Oh wow.
Okay?
This is all.
I'm just trying to tell you. So there you go. You opened it up. But I don't have to deal. But I don't have to deal with this because I'm 60 something.
What?
Okay. All right. You know me and no.
You and Kyle the same age.
But
you're much older now. You're much older.
But he know me.
Yeah, I'm right behind you.
But here's the thing, bruh. My sons. You know what I mean?
Well, let me
My
say this.
sons. I ain't that dude.
Let me say this, Bob.
Yes.
But let me say this. Look.
Don't do that to me.
No. And then this.
No,
Okay.
Yeah.
Def Jam.
No,
first,
have fun with that shit over here, yo.
Def Jam first aired in what year?
Def Jam aired in 92.
All right, so check this out.
We taped in 91.
So check this out. The first Def Jam aired in 1992. We are now in the year 2024, and people
Still
are
in their
still
fucking
in
feelings.
so that goes
How
to show
dope
you
is that?
how dope and how much of an impact Def Jam had. Because to be honest, is people still eating off of Def Jam?
How
People-
bad
all
somebody
day.
wanted it too.
and how bad people wanted it.
And I'm getting ready. I'm
I
getting
wanted
ready
to be on
some-
SNL.
Y'all know I'm getting ready to do
dream of
it.
mine.
Yeah.
Still paying
I'm getting ready
me
to do a
little bit
new
every
show,
Saturday
man.
when that shit come on, I'm like, man. That's
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to do a new show.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to do a new show with the same formula. Watch
look,
my work.
and
It's the formula that did it. I watch a lot of people win who didn't do Def Jam, but more one who did it.
And just
Let's
when
do
you
the
say
math.
people weren't ready. It just reminds me of the story when you came to DC to do a showcase at Jokes on Us Comedy Club in Laurel, Maryland for Def Jam.
Why would he mention my name 40 years later? Go ahead, man.
And so this is when Def Jam was coming back. And me, Boogie, Marion Kendrick, a couple of other
At Tucker's?
At Tucker's.
When Kenny?
No, it was at Jokes on Us in Laurel. Jokes on Us.
Oh, that's
Comedy.
what that was. That ain't where Timmy Hall killed it.
Nah, it wasn't where Timmy
That
Hall
was
was.
okay.
And everybody, we all up and coming. We like the hot young ones in DC.
Okay.
But Boogie was still kind of new.
Okay.
He was still kind of new, but he was getting his chops up real good, and he hanging around, So, and I didn't get a showcase, and Boogie didn't get a showcase, right? But Boogie was running around, man, fuck this, I need a showcase, dog. Boogie got these fake Prada shoes on. He got, because he's fresh from New Orleans, got these shorts that are cut down to here, so they like Incredible Hulk capri pants short. Boogie just looking country, man, dog. I need a showcase, man. This is fucked up. I need to, and everybody just like, hey, man, it is what it is. Boogie talked his way
Onto the showcase.
to the showcase and stuck it up. Stuck it up. And when he got off stage, he was just like, see, man, sometimes you just gotta just chill.
Timing, man.
And
Timing.
that's one of the stories that make me crack up, man, when we think about that, back then. We was all It was just like, oh shit, Bob coming to town, Def Jam showcase, and just how everybody, it was just like an all day thing, like game day.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
was so excited, you was nervous, niggas was putting on their best outfits that they could afford. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, yo, so it was like a big deal,
I'm
man.
straight up though. It's a formula. I have a showcase coming to the ABFF because they're funny showcase, and this show that I assembled for South Beach is gonna be just like it's Def Comedy Jam all over again.
Are you?
You know,
are
because
you-
it really is like I looked at 700 comedians and broke it down just like the Def Jam years. I went to 30 cities and I broke it down to 70. I have a clipboard right now with 70 comedians that I could choose from afresh. But then there's also the other comedians that really need these opportunities. Now, I saw Tony Tone, right? Nobody knows who Tony Tone really is. You know what I mean? But he's polished now. Like when I did Def Comedy Jam, Bernie had already been in the game for a minute. But nobody knew who he was.
Right.
Nobody really even knew who J. Anthony Brown was. He was more of a writer, you know? So I'm just saying that I'm prepared to do what was done, because one thing I do know that it's a formula. I know comedians, and I'm serious about this. They've been on Comic View 6 times. Never did Def Jam once. There's a reason, because I'm looking for a star. I want to make you a film, a TV star, and if you do the track record, it worked.
Are
And
you-
it will continue to work.
You're in pre-production for that right now.
Yeah.
Who's
I'm
hosting?
pretty much there. I'm not totally there, but I kind of know who a lot of the talent is.
Uh-huh.
But in terms of breaking it down, in terms of hosting and all of the, those pieces of it, it won't be long before I start going in. But I'm mixing and matching. It ain't all about the new comedian. It's not all about the same comedians. I mean, nothing for nothing, man. But I'm tired of seeing, and because you're on that level, you're part of them same tours that only thing changes is the name, but it's the same people, and I'm
Tony
like,
Von, Gary
damn.
Owens.
Well, no, it's a 15. No, and then I'm
Mike
saying
Epps.
he's the youngin' of the crew.
Yeah, yeah.
You dig what I'm
Yeah.
follow? But I do know that there's this young lady, Apple Brown Betty, out of Richmond, smoker. You know what I mean?
Yo, shout out to her. I don't know you, sweetheart. But he just mentioned you on the podcast, so your name is resonating somewhere. So
Yeah.
shout out to you if you're watching, or if somebody
Yeah.
knows her, send her a link.
Yeah.
And follow me on IG. Or send me a
Mason
message. I'd love to see
King,
some of your stuff.
Mason King from Memphis, Tennessee, had the hottest showcase I saw since August 5th, 1991, Bernie Mac at the Atlanta Comedy Theater. Mason King, I saw him at this little joint called the Comedy Joint in Memphis.
Maybe we shoulda went
and
there
I
instead
was
of Chuckles.
I was with Brewer, me and Brewer
Memphis
from
ain't no
Coming to
joke,
America.
yeah.
Brewer and we're sitting there watching this magnificent, and then there's this Anthony Oakes. He's a gay kid from Southeast DC. Dope. You know?
Yeah.
And then I got Charlie Barnett. I got the new Charlie Barnett. No, I ain't mean to do it like that. Mom, I heard him mention Charlie Barnett. Didn't you mention Charlie Barnett?
Yeah, I did.
No, whatever they call it now.
Just too much for craziness in
But I got
industry.
excited because Rio Paris. Listen, you guys. You know. Come on. Listen. Hey, Rio Paris from Tampa, Florida. I had already did my showcases all over the country, so I got a call to go to Tampa. I went to Tampa. I'm watching this kid perform. I said, "You are the modern day Charlie Barnett."
Oh, yeah.
And he's rocking with me right now. So I'm going to showcase all of them down, and Rashawn Reese. Rashawn, bad boy. Bad boy. He just I remember Epps. I remember Dion. Deion Cole, Mike Epps, and Tracy Morgan. Those was 3 cats that were considered to be rough around the edges. Think about what I just said. Think about where they are now.
Right.
Huh?
Right.
I love what I'm looking at, and I love how I play.
I can see Tracy and Mike being in that category of rough around the edges, but Deion seems like he was always kind of more polished to me.
I know Deion from Chicago. You
Oh,
know
no,
what
not
I'm
Deion. I
saying?
mean, Deion.
No.
DL, you said.
No,
Deion or
Deion
DL?
Cole. He said
Deion.
Deion. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Deion.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I said Deion.
yeah.
Okay.
Deion
Yeah.
jump in those guys. I look at them now and know who they were when I pulled them in. And that's why I oftentimes, and I cannot leave this podcast without mentioning 2 comedians who I know were destined for stardom. Raz G and Rashid Thurman.
Oh, rest in peace. Rest in peace.
Rashid is viral with
Yeah.
that set he
Still
did.
doing
Still
Yeah,
viral.
yeah,
still
yeah,
viral.
yeah.
Bobby.
You know what
But
I'm
the cat always
saying?
on the bread.
Yo, so I'm just saying, it's like stand-up comedy is alive and well. Like all you casting directors out there, if y'all looking for some folks, holla at me, because I know I've got people. Do you remember there was a comedian, Avion Crockett would tell you about this kid from Charlotte. I get a call from Kim Coleman. Okay, they're casting this Jerry Bruckheimer film, and they want to know if I know some people. So I saw this kid on the showcase, and I thought that he was really decent, right? And I said, well, when I read the sides and stuff, I said, man, let me throw him in the thing to see if
know who you're talking
he
about.
got a call back. He got a call back. He got a call back. Next thing I know, his first movie is with 3 Academy Award winners. Then
Go on
his
to 60 seconds?
Then his second movie was with De Niro and Eddie, and then he spaces out. Right? This kid
Yeah, I
named
remember that
TJ.
kid.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the
TJ,
thing
kinda
is,
Chappelle-like.
yeah, he was dope though. But the thing is, that's what I have. I get a call from Robbie Reed and them. They're doing this joint called Sunset Park. I read the sides. It was for talent. I read the sides and it was for talent. Next thing I know, talent is in this movie with Fred Dro and Terrence Howard in them.
Wait,
you know what I
let's
mean?
go back for a second. You said TJ spaced out.
TJ came to California and California got the best of him, from what I understand. And because it happened so quick, and I'm going to tell you why he spaced out, because the next movie was going to be wrapped around him. You know how with a movie, everybody, it's all about you today.
Right.
We're shooting about you. I get a call from Shana Gar saying, he ain't here. Where is he? We have to replace him. And that's how Scruncho got that role in How High.
Wow.
That was TJ's role.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And he didn't show up. And, Mike.
I
Mike was in there.
love hearing these stories about the stuff that happened behind the scenes that people don't know. How
Was that
somebody
with
came
TJ
to
Miller or TJ?
No,
TJ Cross.
TJ Miller.
TJ Cross.
White boy.
TJ Cross. Yeah. I remember seeing him out here at a showcase one time. And I
Yeah,
was like,
well,
oh, homies.
I mean, and I watched how I went up to Just for Laughs when TJ was hot, and I watched how everybody was working and how things be. That's why I say it's really a trip watching Tony Hinchcliffe, because I remember nobody gave a damn about
Yeah,
Tony.
yeah.
And I think about, again, I was speaking about when Bill got MTV. That was nothing more than, there used to be a thing here called R&B Live.
Yeah. I used to
Not
hang
this,
out all the-
not this R&B Live. I'm talking about the one that Shaka Khan and Prince and them used to be at.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this was at the Century Club years ago. And the next night, when I went there with Russell and Leon and Stan and them, and Prince showed his ass on the MTV Awards the next night, right? Remember that?
Yeah,
When he
yeah,
had
yeah.
it? Anyway,
Champ.
when Heavy D and them had Uptown Records, they used to do like a New York version, right? So one night I'm there and I'm saying there's a lot of chaos in between acts. They need a comedian to bring people
Right.
in. So I called Andre and them and my man Wendell Haskins and all them, right? And I said, I have this guy, that I would love to, and he fits the uptown everything, right? So I called. I said, Bill, I might get you some toll money. I might get you some parking money, but this might be something for you. Now, Bill comes in there, and this is the same night that Jermaine Dupri brings these kids who dress backwards, right?
Crisscross.
Crisscross. They were there jumping. Right? So Bill does this thing. I get back to my Def Jam office the next day, and it's Tracy Jordan from MTV. She saw this guy last night, and she was wondering if he could come in and test for this new show she's trying to do at MTV. And that was the birth of Bill Bellamy.
Wow.
I got receipts, fam.
Damn.
Sound like you got invoices.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's dope as hell.
Yeah.
The ties, like everything is tied to this.
Yeah.
This thing ties to that.
Stuff that was
ties to
going
that.
on behind the
yeah.
scenes.
6 degrees of Bob Sumner.
It's a whole lot to it, man. But it's a ride that I love because it's nothing like taking them from the outhouse to the penthouse.
So what do you envision for this next?
Well, I hope somebody take a chance on one thing I want to do is I do remember how we did Who's the Man, how we did House Party, how we did Friday. We need to get back to those days, those type of films where you have some known comedians, and then you have those ones that just know how to have Friday type breakout roles.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? Those Ezell roles, those big worm roles. I got a big worm in the camp. You know what I'm saying? I have all that. I know how to. This is what I do. And that's why I watch everybody try to, say, Bob and so-and-so. No, I do what I do. Everybody else, y'all over there. When you talk about Mount Rushmore, y'all figure out the 3 other spots.
All right, so listen. So now, comedically, you do this very well. Like you do this, and there are names that will say your name when they receive awards. They're gonna say, "I can't leave Bob Sumner out." You know this. But like, are you thinking? Are you trying, or are you envisioning branching off? Like you just said, we need those roles. Like, why not? Where's the production company to write the movies?
Well, that's what's going. That's
Okay.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I've been in the lab when I was listening to those interviews with Shannon Sharp and JB Smoove talking about
Yeah.
can we get back to the golden age? I know what made the golden age, but then I sat back and watched everybody try to do this thing. So now I'm putting it out there that let me remind you how that happened.
Right.
Okay, and that's why I went back out here on the road to look at what is out here besides what it appears to be. And I also know that you have gotten nothing more than better by staying. I watched Joe grow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell y'all about a kid right now that's getting ready to do Willenboro because I thought that he was trying to get there, and then I stopped hearing about him, and then I saw that he was rocking with y'all, which was cool, and that's Mona's cousin Wavy. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's my man. And I've been watching.
Shout
So
out to Wavy.
again, you have the Wavies of the world that nobody know who the fuck is Wavy.
Right.
Okay? So that's what I'm saying. That's Chris Tucker's breakout role. Nobody know. So I'm just trying to see if I can bring it back. And one thing that's happening with Jersey now, Lionsgate's coming there, and like a lot is going on
Oh,
in Jersey.
boy.
So
Nice cars that
again,
get stolen.
Freddie Ricks and I have a Lionsgate is moving. They building right down the street from where Terminal D was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I got a movie right now that Freddie Ricks has already done. So all I got to do is get some people to bite on it, and all we got to do is shoot it, and then just go and put the right. Once you put the right talent
Yeah.
to it, you create people. Nobody knew who the fuck Chadwick was. Think about that. Rest in peace, Chad. Nobody knew who he was, but once you knew who he was, Chad was in everybody's movie. He went from Jackie to Thurgood
Yeah.
to James
Yeah.
to Chop.
T'Challa.
You know what I'm saying?
But see, that's the thing though about like, and what we discussed in our podcast, in previous episodes, the A&R is missing. Meaning, like, there's no one out here scouting talent anymore. They're just on their phones now, looking at people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He has
I
a
don't-
million,
but I don't
he has
know.
a million
how-
followers. He must be the guy.
And I can't speak for none of that because all I could do is stick to what I stick to. So let's get back to basics. That's what
Yeah,
my.
but how
that's-
have you adjusted to the platform change? Because people don't watch TV. Like my daughters don't watch TV at all. Like YouTube is the shit. YouTube, like this is on YouTube. YouTube, like people are starting to get sponsors and stuff from YouTube just from ads on YouTube.
You do the Issa Rae
Our
approach.
sponsors are coming soon.
Nah, yeah,
You do the Issa. What Issa did.
but networks are losing. They're losing capital. I was just saying.
No,
Warner
I'm talking about
Brothers
what
lately-
Issa did with Awkwardly Black Girl.
Oh.
She had something hot that people looked at. You know what I mean? And that led her to be able to open up her platform where now she got an opportunity to do Insecure, made that happen, jumped into films, start making films. There's ways to do it. But, a lot of people like to follow. So somebody got to start it. Or restart it, I like to say.
That's one thing I could say though. I remember when we had a meeting in the Laugh Mob office with I had a meeting with you and Arthur Spivak.
Well,
Probably.
again, whatever you're going to talk about with that, I want to hear it, but that's so defunct.
Yeah, no. But what you told me was something
Okay.
real that I wish I would have
Okay.
listened to then. Was you guys set me in front of the computer and showed me YouTube videos. I think it was like Spoken Reasons or something like that was on it. But you predicted, or you told me, you was like, this is where the industry is going. So you need to start, creating content and things of that nature, which you were 100%
But see, this is where,
right.
let me say this, and this is why I know that you was talking to them and not me, because that was never me.
So I was author.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm like that. I'm not gonna say it and go, yeah, I said that when I didn't say that, but that sounds like that because that was the story, and that's true. That that's the way of the world, but you don't have to. You have to. What we're doing right now, it's ways for people to see who you are online. Besides you having to be funny online. Where you need to be funny is in that comedy club. For real, at the end of the day, because just like Vine, shit ain't gonna last. Not the way it's getting talked
But
about
Vine
now.
might come back, though.
No, well, again, it's getting
TikTok out too, right?
This is what I'm
TikTok.
saying. It gets talked about. But one thing that does happen, them comedy clubs are still open. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of who you gonna put in there. And if you got somebody now who you saw in this cool ass movie online, people gonna come see them. And that's when you use social media to don't. Kevin won on social media.
Yeah.
That's who did it the right way.
Yeah.
But don't you think it's the opposite now? It's like you have to plant your seed online and then the movies come later, because it seemed like it's flipped.
It's not even so much planting your seed online. I think it's building your fan base.
Yeah,
online.
that's
Yeah,
what I
it's
mean.
just-
That's
And then
what
once
I mean.
once you got a fan base,
You
they go.
build a
Hey,
fan-
They want you to do all the work now.
Yeah.
Agents and
Everything is like a brand
and
of show.
studios. They just like, yo, fuck it. They just sitting back like this. They got something on their phone that just dings every time somebody hit 1 million followers. Like, he's the next one in the movie. Put him in.
But even when you do that, man, just try to make it quality.
She's
Make
showing
it-
her ass. She
make
got
it-
500 million followers. She in the movie.
Get her in here.
Do it with quality, though. That's what I like. That's what I like about what Nate has been able to do. Nate ain't done nothing no different than what Nate been doing.
Nate Jackson?
Yeah, Nate ain't been doing nothing no different than what he been doing, but being consistent with it. And it just catches on and catches on. But it ain't like he's out there doing no
Reinventing
sticks
the wheel
and shit.
and
Yeah.
You
some
but
other-
he is getting traction.
Yeah.
Hey, what time is it?
What time you gotta go? What time you gotta be there?
It's 8:00.
Oh, that's cool.
All right. You gotta roll.
No, we good.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we good. We just.
You going to scout somebody right now?
No, I'm not.
I got a nigga in Compton right now that's so
Hey,
cold.
no, I'm not even on that page at all today. I'm just chilling because, again, I just had a granddaughter the other day.
Congratulations.
I just had
Yeah.
a Cinco de Mayo, man.
Yeah.
Sky.
Is she
yeah.
Mexican?
Her name is Sky. Yeah, her name is Sky. Cuebo. She got a little
Cuebo?
she got a little Spanish in her.
Guy Cuevo.
Bob, I got a question. Now, when you hear comedians talking about who stole what joke and this and that, do you have any insight that you just haven't shared? Like, do you know who actually did?
Sometimes. Sometimes, but the thing is, not all the time, because what people need to understand is a lot of people do think about the same premise. You know what I mean? And that's why I was like tripping off of the pandemic, because it's a brand new day for me. Like, I don't want to see nobody doing all the shit they was doing before the pandemic, unless it's your greatest hits, unless it's your life, your POV. But in terms of telling like whatever has entanglement joke, because that's when it started, but whoever has the best of any of that, it don't make a difference if you're a vet or new. If you put a nice 10 together, that means you could put a 20 together. You know what I mean? And you just keep working. And everybody needs to understand that, you know, you win by having your headliner, and then you grow with the headliner who understands that you only, it becomes a time where it's time for the headliner have to use a new feature, because it's time for you to start headlining.
Right.
What I say.
No, listen. You might even remember the story when I used to open for Tracy Morgan. And they know the story because I told it several times. I was Tracy Morgan's opening act. We were at Caroline's one night. I went out the first show Friday, smashed the room. Second show Friday, came out, smashed the room again. I walked back to the green room and Tracy's getting ready to go out and just looks at me and says, "You're done."
Yeah.
And I got upset. I was scared. I thought I did something wrong. "You're done."
It's time for you
like,
to go, boy.
Oh, shit. And he goes, "You a star, man. You don't need to be featuring for me.
That's right.
Go be a star. Don't feature for me." I can't. He said, I'm keeping you here. I'm holding you up by keeping you here." Then he opened the door. You guys all remember Caroline's, that back wall was curved, remember? So the back wall, it's a bunch of comics along the back wall just sitting there watching the show. And he said, "You see those motherfuckers right there? They will all feature for me forever, because that's all they want to do." He's like, "I don't want that for you. You done."
Preach, man.
He said, "You're done."
Preach,
This is Tracy.
man.
This is Tracy. I cannot.
No, I'm
whatever it is.
telling you.
He said, "That's all they want is to feature for me. I don't want that for you. You a star. Get out of here." And a year later, I was on television.
Yeah. Tracy.
And I saw Tracy a year later on what's the lot?
Paramount.
On Ventura and
Oh,
Colfax.
CBS
Colfax?
Radford.
CBS Radford.
Yeah, okay.
Tracy's on the lot, and I'm walking the set. He goes, "Yo, told you."
Yeah. Listen, I'm down. I have to do a panel in Atlantic City. So Trey is playing the Ocean the day before. So I said, let me go over here. So when the show's over, I walk down to the front of the stage, and Tracy sees me and just brings me, through. And everybody's riding. And he sat me down, right? And he goes, "What was it?" I said, "What do you mean? What did you see in me?" I said, "I saw you. You was you. You know what I mean? You can only be you." And that was the talent part. The other part is, just like you could be as talented as you want to be, bruh. But if your character's fucked up, you'll go nowhere. And that's why y'all winning. That's why he's winning. That's why Epps is winning. That's why Dion is winning. That's why JB is winning. You dig? Craig Robinson's winning. It's bigger than talent, bruh. I know you guys from the beginning.
Yes, sir.
And then I know the ones who fall off because they start smelling themselves. I look at Instagram, bruh. You know what I mean? I'm here, man. You know? Yeah. I love y'all team. And y'all heard what he just said.
Yeah.
You know? And I've watched y'all get better.
Yeah.
And you're going to keep getting better. And when you get too better, you better get ready.
Nah, facts, man.
Yeah, man.
True.
Yeah, I tell everybody all the time, it was weird because you gave me my first TV credit opportunity, but then the manager at the Ice House, Jan Smith, it kind of happened at the same time. It was just like, you and him. Kind of like I did. We Got Next on Aspire. Then
Okay.
a week later,
I heard that runs on something.
yeah,
On some
yeah, a
yeah.
week later, I was did the show for Stars, so it was kind of
Okay.
like happened simultaneously, man. So
We Got Next.
for you always gonna be in my in my speech when I'm getting my award where I gotta, you know what I mean.
You know what's weird about We Got Next though? This is the hustler of me. Before there was We Got Next, I took like 16 comedians to Philadelphia. Lil Rel, Carlos Miller,
Hot sauce.
quite a few of them. And I made a little DVD because I always thought about Motown and how Motown had all these different people. And I took it down to the this is just me doing what I do. And I took my little shoulder bag with me and I was giving them away down at the film festival. And I handed them to this one dude who happened to be from Aspire TV, wanted to have a meeting with me. The next thing I know, I'm doing a clean version of Def Comedy Jam on Magic Johnson's network.
Oh, wow.
And, it goes where it goes. But at the same time, that DVD that I was giving out actually turned out to become Laugh Mob's laugh track.
I used to like it. Yeah,
Because Laugh Mob's laugh tracks come from us doing the Red Grant and the Tony Baker Fruit Loops, and then we did the Roz G and the Big Rome, who could have been a big star.
Shout out to Big Rome.
Big Rome should have been a big star. He was hilarious.
Rest in peace,
But
Big
we did them things, and then True TV and BET and everybody, we started doing like interstitials on Rachel Dratch's show. But the only thing that messed up laugh tracks is the pandemic. Everybody over at Turner got fired who was champion us.
Oh, wow.
So that show is still available if somebody's out there that wanna mess with me. Yeah.
Kyle, you ever think about coming out to LA and playing the game again, or comfortable where you at? Now, I had the same, just before you answer, I had the same conversation with Marvin. I saw Marvin in Atlanta at a show one night. Smash.
I am comfortable where I'm at, but I love LA just because of the scenery, the lifestyle. People say hello to you. You know what I mean? I do like that, but because of the internet, people don't know where you at. People think I'm in LA already. People think I'm in New York.
Yeah.
But I guess the day-to-day,
Right, that's what I mean,
showing
like
up
the
and
business of it, yeah.
Yeah, I do miss that part,
Yeah.
A lot of people ask me about Tupelo. That's what I have on Facebook. I live in Tupelo.
I asked Marvin that question, and Marvin was like, "Yo, you ever think about coming to LA and play the game? Like, just because he got smashed that night." He said, "Nah, man, I like being the big fish in the small pond. I'm
And
comfortable where I'm at."
I would come to LA only if I had a job or work to do, but to hustle and be like,
Yeah.
And I actually am staying creative. I produced a show that's, I'm hooking up with a production company to develop.
What,
the
comedy?
fall. No, it's more of like a content show.
Okay.
It's I can try to talk about it.
Why you being vague, motherfucker? Tell us about the show.
It's not in.
You want people to watch it? It's a context
No.
show.
I'm saying it's a clip show, but it's called Why I Pulled the Trigger, and it's where I interview people who have gotten to gun battles or had a incident where they had to shoot somebody just to know the psychology behind it,
Right.
history behind why they shot.
That's
shit.
You
In
know, I'm
Miami,
wondering,
you can shoot
why
A lot
do
of
people
research
keep-
on that.
Yo, you in Miami, you can shoot 1,000 episodes in a weekend.
Yeah. But the thing is, finding people to interview. But I've gotten.
I was
the
saying
first
research.
Pilot, yeah.
Try to pull
I got a couple of cousins.
Yeah, I got a bunch of
A
cousins.
lot of research
I got a
on
bunch
that.
of cousins you can talk to.
Just to interview and I met with a production company that's really interested in working with me doing and taking it.
Yeah.
Because the networks aren't buying, like Netflix aren't buying as much as they do, but we're gonna do it online,
There you go.
And then-
See,
and then
and that's the
from
thing.
there,
That's where the
then-
game is now. Like
Yeah.
talking about,
a lot of
they
Netflix.
see people create their own fan base.
Yo, we had them 60 million views.
I bet if you put it on YouTube and that shit be getting 1 million views,
Yeah.
they're gonna take the meetings
Yo,
then.
we had them 60 million views on that one, and then they was sharing, getting 30s and 40s. Next thing you know,
On what?
on
Laugh
when we
Tracks?
was doing
Yeah.
the before Laugh Tracks,
Yeah.
when we was just doing the regular video.
Damn, 60 million. Whoa.
Yeah,
Big
But
yeah.
they say
it was big
more
time.
than bigger than Arsenio.
Why do you think
numbers.
Bob Sumner isn't the head of development somewhere?
Because no one knows who I am. No one even thought about it.
How is that possible?
No one knew somebody like what's his name, Sarandos, the dude at Netflix or whatever. it's a trip because Regina, Regina King and I are
Yeah,
like best
yeah.
friends. And Regina, we was over at Netflix one time, and Regina told him, she said, Bob is really the Clarence Avant of comedy. She said it, and when you think about it, and you think about everybody I touched, but if somebody really wanted to mess with me, it would make all the sense in the world because I do know what this is. I'm like Berry Gordy for the most part. You know what I mean?
Standards and practices, we're going to cut that part where he said everybody knows who I touched.
Oh, no, I didn't even know. I didn't mean it. I ain't mean it like that.
We tried not to say anything.
I didn't even
Hold
know.
for edit.
Yeah.
It's like,
Take that shit out.
yeah, he said that.
Wait, do we have any
Never
final
that.
questions? We got something? Or you
Yeah,
got
I just want to say to Kyle
That-
too.
that's funny.
For some
See how
reason,
fast
bro,
you are?
I feel like you could do a dope ass animated series because your personality,
Oh, word.
like, and like you look with the glass
Because he looked like a
I
cartoon.
look better in cartoon.
You look like a cartoon.
but nah, like I
animated.
see, because I know your style of comedy and how you talk. Like you, I just see you doing like a dope ass animated series,
Oh, thanks,
bro,
man.
on some real shit. Just I don't know what it would
I
be
actually
about.
have developed a few, but they haven't been shopped. They're just
Okay.
in my notebook or in my
Yeah.
computer in a script, type
Yeah.
of thing.
We got a couple more questions. Aaron?
2 quick questions. First one's for Kyle. Are you vegan? The people want to know.
Plant-based, yeah. I only eat vegetables, but if a cake has milk and egg in the ingredient, I'll eat the cake. You know what I mean?
Eat the
If
cake.
a chick puts honey on her nipples, I'm gonna lick that.
What if she put a cheeseburger on it?
Cheeseburger on the nipple, I might
usually
not
don't
fuck
do
with
this,
it, but yeah.
What's the other question?
And then this is like a general question, but can you guys just speak on Sinbad and do you have any stories about him in general? One of the go-to.
Oh, man.
Man.
Yeah. Yo, Sinbad is... I don't know. Maybe it's because he was clean and
Yeah.
clean cut as well, that his name doesn't pop up as much as it should in comedy.
Oh, my Aunt Gladys,
No, but
loves
people
Sinbad.
still
But if you
say
seen the
to me
specials-
about
you seen the
people
specials,
still
funny.
say Sinbad's a
Bad
beast.
motherfucker.
I've
Yeah.
heard reverence for
Yeah.
Sinbad
And prayers up for him,
recently.
man. I'm
Yeah,
praying
I've
for him. Hoping he
heard.
get all better.
And that he's
They had a thing for him.
I'm thinking, has he ever had his own sitcom?
Well, I don't think he has.
Might have been on one. I think.
He was.
No,
on
he
Different
definitely was
World.
on
Yeah,
Different
he's on
World.
Different
After
But
that, maybe
Different world.
But didn't
But
he
he
have
had
full
movies.
like
He had his own movie.
All in the
Yeah,
House
yeah,
or
he
something?
had plenty of
Didn't
movies.
He had one with he was Little Rel's pops, right?
Yeah.
No, what was that? Yeah, was that him?
But where he was the lead.
Who was that?
Yeah, he was.
Sinbad
Yeah,
was
he
Little
was.
Rel-
In the Little Rel show.
Unreal.
Sinbad show.
But he
The
Sinbad
he
show.
did have the
Yeah.
Sinbad show. That's what I was thinking.
He was the host of Vibe or something.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
no, he hosts
For a second.
Vibe. Yes,
Yeah.
he sure did host Vibe.
Sinbad when he did that show, Morehouse, I believe, the Morehouse special. That's when I really saw, oh, that's a comedian. Like that's what it actually looks like outside of.
bad.
I could tell you how this. I could tell you how this. With that competition show that he was on, Star Search, felt like it was his show.
Yeah.
For a while,
Yeah.
it was like the Sinbad show. He was
Yeah.
on every week, just like Giselle.
Winning.
Yep.
Both Tom Brady's wife. Both of them. It was like their show.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. He won that, right?
Yes.
Martin won that too, right?
Martin won. No,
Martin
Martin came
Star
in.
Search.
A white dude beat Martin.
Beat Martin, wow.
He came into
Nah.
like it was him and
Where's
Martin.
that white guy at right now?
Which you call it one?
Exactly.
That
He
Rosie
ain't-
won.
Rosie
O'Donnell.
won Star Search?
Yeah.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
You guys remember the show that they had that Tracy was on, Monique was on? I used to watch it all the time.
Snap.
Snaps, but it was
Yeah.
another one where Tracy had a character
Uptown
named
Comedy Club?
Uptown Comedy.
Uptown Comedy, yeah.
He played Biscuit.
Corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uptown Comedy
That's
Corner.
had the propeller on the
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
Maceo was on that one too, right?
Maceo.
Yeah, just the Hood News Report.
Monteria.
Monteria Ivan was the voice.
he was the
Yeah,
voice.
I used to love that
Even a
show.
white
They got
comic.
clips.
What's his name?
Talent would be on there.
The Italian dude.
Rob McNaughty.
Oh,
Jim
Rob
Brewer.
McNaughty was-
Jim
Jim Brewer. Jim Brewer was on there.
Jim
Yeah.
Brewer, Rob McNaughty, both of them was on there.
Yeah.
Man, Rob McNaughty, I ain't heard that name in a long time.
Corwin Moore, little Corwin. Corwin was like 16 years old. Actually, there's somebody that used a joke that was Corwin's joke that they was just recently talking about. They was playing it on YouTube. And it was like some dude that's killing the game right now, and you show Corwin you doing the
Doing
joke,
that
like
joke,
back when he
really?
was a kid. Yeah.
Wow,
I forget
wow,
what
wow.
it was.
Corwin, what's his last name?
Moore?
Corwin
Who
Moore.
stole that joke?
And Flex was on. Flex was
Flex,
big.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Flex, yeah.
Yo, I saw Flex one night at the Laugh Factory.
Dougie Doug on that bitch too.
Well, Dougie
Dougie's on that
was
too,
too,
yeah.
but Dougie was so big. Dougie was like large.
Yeah.
Even then, when he got cool
Cool
run-ins
Runnings,
and
yeah.
everything, Dougie was a star. And Ellen Cleghorn.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was Clay Combs.
I saw Flex at the Laugh Factory one night, and he was hanging out, and I was on stage, and I saw him, and I was like, "Yo, man, you don't even understand." Like I'm telling the room, like y'all don't understand how big this motherfucker was in New York City. Like he at Uptown Comedy Club, you try to get in line around the building, and he would just pull up
Yeah.
with a hot one. The fucking room would the line would part. He would walk in. Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? He would kill. It
What a
was like,
time
he walking
period
like
that
you.
was.
now, yeah, now. But back then, I'd be like this. He would walk right past me like,
I'm
that
looking
nigga
at-
big.
Be a comedian
I'm like, that
one
nigga
day.
getting it. I'm like, yo, he getting it right now.
Like that.
You know,
And he
you,
wasn't that bad in Michael Jackson either. Do you ever look at
Oh, damn,
you look
wrong
back
for
at
that.
it?
I gotta watch
It was the makeup that messed it up. But
They need to fire the makeup artist.
But
Kyle,
him,
you ain't shit for
his
that.
character, the voice, it was the makeup that threw it off.
It was the nose.
We gotta
it was
pull
a
that up.
prosthetic
It was
nose.
something-
We gotta pull that up, and we gotta pull that video of you up. What's the name of it?
Party Machine with Nia People.
Party Machine with Nia Peoples, and the artist is Mario.
Yeah, yeah.
The artist is Mario. Please pull that up.
Get them up right now. In the meantime, we got one more question also.
Go.
We're also at 15, just so you know, 15 minutes left. But did the Cat Williams interview ruin the energy in the comedy space?
No.
No.
Feel too toxic now, or did he make some truth come out and create real talk?
Yes and no.
yes.
That's
Everybody
yes and no.
already knew. The comedians already knew all the stories that Cat
We knew.
was saying.
We knew the. We knew a lot of the truths that he told, and some of the claims he made. We were like, I don't know about that.
Right.
But toxic, no. Toxic, no.
I didn't really capture a whole lot of it in terms of anything being too rugged. It didn't feel crazy to me. One thing that did hit me though was a true story. One night when we were doing Laugh Mob on Sunset, you remember the night Spike was sitting there with
Yes.
me, right? And Carlos was
Yes.
there. It was me, Spike, and Carlos, right? We sitting there, and Spike says, somebody comes up to me and says, you know, Suge and Cat's outside.
Oh.
Right? Somebody said, you know, Suge and Cat's outside. So, okay, Suge and Cat's outside. Right? So Spike says to me, you know, I never met Cat. Right? I said, you never, it like kind of fucked me up that he never met. He said, I said, you want to meet him? He said, yeah, introduce me. I said, okay, I'll be right back. Make sure I could get clearance. So I went outside and I saw a Cat, and I said to Cat, I said, Spike Lee wants to meet you. And he said, tell him I'm outside, tell him come. So I went back in, told Spike, he's outside, man, going out, went outside and everything. And they was talking. I went on back about my business. Next thing I know, I'm reading the trades, and Spike Lee is getting ready to direct Cat Williams' special at the Comedy Store.
Oh, wow.
I said, what a small world. But then I'm listening to the interview on Shay Shay, and Cat's pissed because Spike shot Gerard's special.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Did you heard him talking about that, right? And he did.
But I think with
But I
that,
said it's
I
a
think that was
small
more of a
world.
payday for Spike. Because I heard, from what I hear,
With Gerard?
all alleged stuff, nothing concrete. But Spike was there like, yo, he wasn't a fan. From what I heard, it was just like, yo,
But he did shoot his special.
Yeah, yo, here's a
Wasn't a
check.
fan of who?
Gerard.
Okay.
It was just like, yo, we hiring you to do this job. And he was like, okay. And it was there, it was like, whoa, like this is
Was it at
like,
the Comedy Store?
It was at the comedy.
was,
And
yeah.
was it?
Oh, wow.
Did you know he was like that year when we was first there
Who, me?
doing them shows?
Like what?
Like what?
Like that. You know how Bill got that joke like that?
Yeah.
Did you know it was like that?
I mean, I for me, I kind of had some, not at that point, but I kind of knew,
I heard it's really
I didn't know
out
until
there.
he told me.
He did tell you?
Well, until he told us.
Well, I kind
on
of
his
figured
special.
before.
Oh, that's what I'm
special.
saying.
I didn't
Okay.
know until it's special.
Because I had no clue.
When he
Yeah.
told us his real name on that special. I didn't know.
What's his real name?
Rothaniel?
Oh, I thought that was his middle name.
Whatever it is, he told us that, and this
That was a
episode
legend.
came out.
Yeah, but that was
Pretty
a
popular,
legendary Tuesday, man. Thank you for letting me host,
Yeah.
be a part of hosting that too, bro. Like that was a legendary Tuesday.
Yeah, that was a trip. That one night was really a trip when
Everybody
everybody.
came.
Yeah, that was like, oh, God. I'm gonna tell you, it was some crazy nights though. When that kid walked up there and punched that kid on stage, that was crazy.
Did Spike ever direct the Cat special?
Yeah,
Which one was that?
it was one from the Comedy Store.
Cat.
I ain't even know he did
Yeah, I
one.
think it was at the Comedy. I know he definitely did one.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm thinking it was a Comedy.
Next time I
Store. It
see
could have been
Spike,
somewhere
hey
else, but
man,
he
I need
did
you to
do a
direct
special.
my shit.
Yeah. Man. Do that shit
Yeah.
right there in the Laugh Factory.
I remember when they shot the Kings of Comedy. Spike did that.
Yeah.
Down in
Charlotte.
In Charlotte, and they all called me, right, individually. Correct.
No. Go to do the Kyle video.
The Kyle video?
Go do Flex right there. That's
that
Flex
can't
right
be
there.
it. That ain't
That's
it.
Flex right there.
Yeah, go watch Flex better.
So listen, they called me individually and said, Bob, we just got that basketball court part. They was talking about me, and that shit ended up on the cutting room floor.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because I guess it was too much about me.
Right.
You know, I said, God bless them.
What's it? A dance machine? Party machine.
Party machine.
Party machine. Nia Peoples.
That's what it is.
NIA.
Oh, that is Flex.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, the makeup was Flex's voice was his character was dying.
You the first person.
If Flex is watching, Kyle enjoyed your performance. On
You just didn't like your makeup.
You the only one that stood up in the theater. That boy good.
Oh my good.
Naya Peoples.
yeah, like Pebbles.
Yeah, but I don't know if it'll show up like that because
It's gonna show up, nigga. Don't worry.
Naya Pebbles.
Right there, boom.
Peoples.
party machine.
Party machine.
Party machine.
You know what episode you was on?
What's his name? Mario.
There you go. Party machine.
Party machine. Mario.
1991.
Space Mario.
Mario.
I don't know if let me see.
Right, Kyle?
What?
Nope. Maybe if you put Kyle Grooms, it might.
Mario Party. Go.
Because I'm more famous than Mario now.
Wait, is this Timmy T?
Yeah, that's it. But
This one right here?
machine- No, but let me go to the right,
Okay. This one.
all the way over, because I'm right. Is that it? Let me see. That might be.
This one right here. This is.
No.
You recognize the thumbnail?
You have to put Kyle Grooms, I think, because
No,
Party
no, you
machine.
don't, nigga.
Don't.
No, come back down. Go across.
because it
They're
could
too
be
short.
a million
Too
of them.
short.
Oh shit, Chubb Rock.
Wow.
Yeah, it's probably.
I could put in Kyle.
Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah, I think you have to put. I was 21 or something.
How old are you, bro?
50. I'm a time traveler.
Ralph
dude.
Tresvant.
I'm from the past.
I'm gonna put in.
Ralph Tresvant.
I'm gonna put in Kyle Grooms.
That shit ain't gonna pop. It's gonna say.
Yeah.
Alexis gonna be like, did you mean Kyle? Fucking. Who's another Kyle? Did you mean?
Kyle.
Kyla Pratt.
Yeah, Kyla Pratt.
Groo Kyle.
O-O-M-S?
Yeah. M-S.
Man, we really want to see
This
this.
shit pop up.
There you go.
Are you dancing?
Yeah.
Oh.
But I'm in the background, so you oh, there it is. Right
Yo,
there.
hit it. Kyle Grooms. Oh, fucking come on.
Nah,
Skip.
Skip it.
Because I posted.
Howard Hewitt was there too.
This is Tone Loc, Snaps, Young MC, Heavy D, and the new kids on the block. Now he's focused all his energy on his rapping, and his first record happens to be an R&B hit. With Whip It Baby, here's Mario.
I posted this on
Look at Kyle.
on what was it? MySpace.
That's Kyle. Wait, that's Kyle right here. That's
No,
Kyle.
I'm not. I'm the dude on the right. You'll see it.
Look.
Oh, no glasses.
That's when I had your hair.
Right.
I gotta turn it down so we don't get copy strike, but this is great.
The copy straight on.
Hilarious.
How long it take you to learn that routine?
Well, I choreographed.
Just do what I do.
Yo, let them know where you at, where they can find you, Kyle.
Kyle Grooms on all social media. KYLEGROMS.
What you got coming up?
Well, look for in the fall why I pulled the trigger, and catch me at some comedy clubs around the country.
Bob?
I can be whatever you want to call it, found at bob.sumner on Instagram. And I have a page, a comedy page, where everybody get a chance to promote their stuff on Facebook. You know, I got some shows coming up. Like I said, every first Saturday, we're at the JFK Center in Willingboro, New Jersey, with the Saturday Night Comedy Show, hosted by Marshall Brandon, and we do a showcases before the main show.
Shout out Marshall Brandon.
And also, I have quite a few things going on this summer in Linden, New Jersey. For the mayor there, we're doing Comedy Under the Stars at the Linden Promenade. That's going to be every first Friday, June through September.
Nice.
I'm also doing Jazz and Jokes at Military Park in Newark. That's going to be in July and August. That's going to be popping. And then, like I said, the big thing that's really popping right now is my showcase that I'm doing down at the ABFF in South Beach on June 14th. And the ABFF is June 12th through the 16th. And you can go to abff.com for more information. And
Joe Fox is there every year if you want to put Joe on the show.
I'll be in
lastly,
Miami.
well, it's already.
They
But
both on the show.
lastly,
I live in Miami.
it's very important that, I mean, and it would be great if you guys, was able to come out that way. I might be able to figure something out. Somebody participate in the celebrity softball game that we do every August. This would be the 9th annual, and we do it for the American Cancer Society in memory of my dad and also one of the my teammates from high school and Little League.
Where do you do it at?
In Roselle, New Jersey. And a little
is
bit of
it? August?
everybody comes out August 25th.
If I'm free, I will
Yeah,
be there. I
because,
played in the celebrity softball game last year at Yankee Stadium, CC
Okay,
Sabathia.
yeah.
At the time of my life.
Nice, because
I'm free, I'll be there.
all of Leaders of the News, not Leaders, Lords of the Underground and Naughty by Nature, Full Force, they come out. Derek Luke comes out. My cousin, they might come out there. They may come out there, but my cousin and one main event, Wally Dixon, Tamika Dixon, a lot of my Seton Hall University ex-ballers and shit. It's a nice time.
Yeah, bet. If I'm free, I'm there, bro.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Fox, Boogie.
Oh, we are in Bridgeport, Connecticut at the Stress Factory
This weekend. Bridgeport,
forward
get
to
your
that.
tickets.
Bridgeport.
Hey, thank you guys for 1,000 followers.
We on a G, baby. Thanks to everybody that hit that fucking button and said, yo, I'm tuning in and I'm telling my friends to tell their friends. We appreciate y'all. Yo, we at a G and we only going up from here. Shout out my man Math Hoffa. When I was home, I did his podcast. While we were recording his podcast, I said, hey, I want everybody to follow my podcast. And the numbers started going up from there. So shout out Math for having me on. And I will return the favor when you come out west. Trey, Elliot, where you at?
Yo, first of all, I just want to say shout out to Quake. I did the Belasco Theater last night for the Netflix Is a Joke Festival. These guys did the Improv last night. Yeah, kill it. It was a
lot of comedy.
It was an amazing night. After my show, I came to meet my team.
Team-wise, we had a great night.
So as a team, man, it was so dope, man. The energy was good. So shout out to Quake. He did Quake's house today.
I did Quake's house this afternoon. It was fire.
Yeah, and I couldn't make it. I was in traffic court defending myself and lost, but that's neither here nor there. But then this week, man, I'm chilling because I'm going to go home on Thursday night. to spend Mother's Day with my mom.
Nice.
It's my mom's first Mother's Day without my sister, so I had to show up for her.
Yes,
So I'm gonna be there with my mom for Mother's Day. I get back. It's been a dope week, man. I got accepted in a couple of festivals. I just found out I got accepted into another comedy festival today.
Nice.
So this is 2 festivals I got involved in. I'm just waiting on the third one. I submitted to 3.
Hey, man.
So I'm it's time to make it happen, man. So yeah.
Hey, man.
I am.
No, hey, Tone.
Go.
Before, I mean, this is your show.
Do you think?
But, Tone, I'm at the crib. Just came in from putting one up. I'm watching TV. I watched this motherfucker win a car.
Price is right. Yeah.
Am I started taking pictures?
It was during the pandemic. I'm in the crib like this. Yo, is this a skit?
Yo,
I was like, yo,
Tone,
what's this? SNL or some shit? What is this?
Tone.
I hit it like, oh, this nigga's really on the show. Like,
Tone.
then he won the whole thing. I called him like, nigga, am I watching you on Prices right now?
but then after that, like I be every now and then, I be watching some game shows, and him and Ron G, they like the king of the game show network.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
wow, that's a hell of a hookup.
I try to get that little money.
Nice.
You're killing me.
Yo, like Fox said, we in Burlington. We in Bridgeport this weekend. Stress Factory, shout out Vinny Brand.
Yes,
And it's
sir.
funny that you said that you're going home to spend time with moms because I'm actually flying home Thursday. The shows in Bridgeport don't start till Friday, but I'm gonna go home Thursday to spend the day with my moms.
Yeah.
Just to get a updated picture to post on Sunday. 'Cause all the pictures I post are always the same pictures.
Okay.
New. I'm
Okay.
gonna go home Thursday just to surprise her, spend the day with her.
Nice.
Get a picture.
Hopefully
get
she
a
ain't
pic-
watching the
Get a
podcast.
couple of hopefully she is. Get a couple of flicks. Just,
How's everybody
post
doing?
Sunday.
Everybody good?
Everybody's great, man. Thank you
All
for
right.
asking. And then I'll leave Friday, meet up with you guys Friday in Bridgeport. But I just got to go home and get a picture.
My
of mom.
cousin Shaquille said y'all was dope in New Brunswick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
Right on,
Yeah,
fellas.
good time.
Yeah.
So you know all the info where to find me, all that stuff. And I cannot end without saying happy birthday to my brother Brian. Today is my brother Brian's
Big
birthday.
what
Happy
up,
birthday,
boy?
B.
The most dependable person I have ever met on the face of the God's green earth. The running joke with he and I is that one day he's not going to come through for me, so at least I'll have one on him. And he always says that'll never happen. And all this time, my entire life, it has never happened that he's not
Shout
coming
out
through
to
for me.
B.
Great
bro.
family.
Happy birthday to B, man. I love you so much. You know what it is. And my can't move a muscle without saying Charleston, Dad, I love you very much. I'll see you in a little bit. Peace.
All right.
And shout out to Captain Kirk's Jamaican rum punch. You did it again,
Yeah,
bro.
he did it again, boy.
And don't worry, I'm gonna drink that little bit right there. I
got something. We gotta split it.
I'm gonna knock that out. Don't worry about that. Yo, it's live from the green room. Yo,
You
thank
sure
y'all for
that
tuning
ain't
in.
mine,
Check
man?
y'all out. See y'all next
Hey,
week. Yo, peace.
Yeah, you
Peace.
could.
Peace.
You could.
You can smoke in here.
Yeah.
You
You
can smoke in
could
here.
have
Hell
been
yeah.
I think
Just
that's
smoke
mine.
the whole time.
How you manage to be
I
so
sure. Hold up.
in comedy so